I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up?
Kelly's one-strike pitch. Swinging a fly ball, center field deep. Bellinger going back to the warning track, to the wall. It's a grand slam! Howie Kendrick has done it! They're going crazy in the Nationals dugout! Howie Kendrick with a grand slam here in the 10th inning of Game 5. The Nationals 7, the Dodgers 3. Do you believe it?
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Hey, this promises to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait. Are you kidding me? Do you believe it?
Man in the morning, Snowman here with you. Cole Johnson along in just a second. And by the way, last night, this happened.
Raymond's got it left sideline. Let the celebration begin. With 4 titles in the last 8 years, the run is not done. The Golden State Warriors, once again, are NBA champions in 2022. 103-90 with 3.2 left. They got to clear the court here before the full-on celebration.
Yeah, the buzzer wasn't the end of the game, was it?
But there it is. The Warriors have won it. And an homage to our friend Tim Royd. The Bays team is the best team again.
Yes, they are. The Bays team is the best team as the Golden State Warriors. Yes, those guys. The ones that everyone said, well, not everyone. A lot of people, there's my correction, said that the dynasty was over. Wrong. Cole Johnson put it specifically. Is the KD part of the dynasty over? Yes, it is. Is the dynasty over as a whole? Wait a minute. I got to do this the right way. I have to do this the right way. And yes, I'm using my laptop this morning. I got a contingency just in case things start to break down. I have a tablet. I got a couple of phones here. Where you at, Bishop Bullwinkle? See, I need to put this in some kind of a different matrix. Okay, here we go. Hey, Bishop Bullwinkle, I got a question for you to open the show. Is the Warrior Dynasty over as we know it?
Woo! Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no, no, no. Listen.
I love it. Love all of it. Stephen Curry, him, dropped 34 points last night. 34. And Steve Kerr talked about him. Make sure everything's up here. And Steve Kerr spoke about him. Where is it? Here it is. Steve Kerr spoke about him after the game.
None of this happens, and that's not taking anything away from Joe and Peter's ownership because they're amazing owners, built an incredible organization. Bob Myers, a hell of a GM.
Period. Klay Thompson talked about being on cloud one. Forget cloud 9. This is where Klay Thompson is.
It's crazy. I'm on cloud 109 right now, Lisa. I don't even know what to say. I'm just thankful to be here, man. This is crazy, Lisa. I can't even believe it. I knew it was a possibility to see it in real time. Holy cannoli. This is crazy.
And from the finals MVP, yes, the finals MVP, Stephen Curry, he talked about this championship hitting different.
these last 3 years, these last 48 hours, every bit of it has been a emotional roller coaster on and off the floor, and you're carrying all of that on a daily basis to try to realize a dream and a goal like we did tonight. And you get goosebumps just thinking about, all those snapshots and episodes that we went through to get back here, individually, collectively. And that's why I say I think this championship hits different. That's why I have so many emotions and still will, just because of what it took to get back here.
If you watched the game last night and how it developed, it first looked like the Celtics were going to run the Warriors out of the building, getting off to a 14-2 start. And I looked at that start and I said, that was Boston's best punch in 2 games. Let me say that again. When they got off to that 14-2 start, talking about the Celtics, I said that was their best punch in 2 games. Not even the third quarter of game 5 where they came back and eventually took the lead, but Jordan Poole erased all that with a half-court buzzer beater. But looking at those games last night, looking at the game last night, they were games within a game. But one point changed everything. And that 1 point was that 21-0 run bridging the first and second quarters that turned a 6-point deficit into a 15-point lead that the Warriors never relinquished. Now, did Boston get close? Yes, they did. They kept fighting like the Eastern Conference champions they are. But every time the Celtics made a run, and I knew they would, every time the Celtics made a run, this time on the road, just like in game 4, in the fourth quarter, the Warriors had an answer. Let's go to the chat. Sick Diggy says, good morning, Vietnam. One of my favorite movies of all time. Peace to the late, great Robin Williams. Sick Diggy says, and Michael Thompson was there to congratulate his baby boy, just as Steph's family was there for him. For me, that's what it's all about. Family. Families were there for both teams. Let's not forget a couple of blocks by Al Horford and Robert Williams III. Absolutely. I got nothing but love for these Boston Celtics. Sick Diggy again. The Celtics went down swinging. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And you don't want to see a team give up. The Celtics did not give up. And for those of you who think they did, there were just mistakes being made, and the Celtics couldn't overcome them to force a game 7 that would have been Sunday. But I'll say it again, and I will continue to say it. I got nothing but love for the Boston Celtics, especially the current way that they are constructed right now. Why, you ask? Because here's a team that was down and out. I'll say it again. This is a team in the Boston Celtics that was down and out, dead to the world, dead in the water. They were dead in the water. And yet they turned it around basically before Christmas. They really hit the gas in January. By the All-Star break, they were competing. To the chat we go. John, that critical Broncos fan, I had a feeling the Warriors would win because of experience, like the Rams beating the Bengals in the Super Bowl. Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. And I got no qualms about it whatsoever. Charles Reinhardt joining us in the chat this morning. Good morning to you. Celtics will be back, and so will the Warriors. I see this as a trilogy. I see this 4 times. I mean, forget the rivalry they had with the Cavaliers. That wasn't a rivalry. That was an ass whooping. 3 out of 4. That was an ass whooping. Sick Dicky greets that Vertigo Chronicles fan, John Mysack, joining us this morning. Had a whip around scheduled, but Cole is running late. So we're going to we're going to continue to go here on the program. But I'll say it again, and I will continue to say it. Unlike the last 2 years, and I have absolutely nothing against the Milwaukee Bucks. Not a thing. Trust me. I'm glad they won last year. But didn't it feel like something was missing in the finals last year? That's why I said this was a true World Championship series. And the reason this is a true and the reason I said this was a true World Championship series is because you have two teams with vastly different styles, and they lean on those styles for everything. Sick Diggy in the chat, Ime Udoka was probably Ime Udoka probably cussing to the rafters, but the team will bounce back. Damn right. Damn right they will. John greets Sick Diggy. Good morning at Sick Diggy, and good morning to all of you in the chat, and good morning to all of you that have joined us this morning on this Friday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Oh, man, we got lots and lots and lots and lots more on the NBA World Champion Golden State Warriors, including a segment where I'm going to go in. I got a bronze-sexual confession, 2 of them actually, scheduled. We got Sam Shady at the bottom of this hour to talk all things USFL. Ben Sudeth at the top of the next hour to talk World Championship Series. And then we enter the Boom Shakalaka at 9:35 Eastern with Chris Bass. And who knows what he's going to be up to? Who knows what he has in store? Sick Diggy said this championship means a lot to the Warriors to bounce back from 2 dismal seasons plagued with injuries and whatnot. What a comeback. What a comeback. Absolutely. For those of you that are new and you're watching us on YouTube, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel and drop a like. Check out some of the other stuff that we got there. And I'm trying to get this channel monetized this weekend. I'll talk a lot more about that as we go on. Sick Diggy again. And Steph Curry is voted as the finals MVP. There's a word. I want to get to that real quick before we go to break. There's a word that they have not said. There's a word that people will not say in the sentence of Stephen Curry is finals MVP. You know what that word is? Unanimous. All 11 votes belonged to Stephen Curry. Period. And now there ain't a damn thing. Not a damn thing that people can say or do about it. Oh, Steph's not an MVP. Steph's not an MVP because he doesn't do this or he doesn't do that. Well, he did it, damn it. And I got a lot more to say about that when y'all get back. This is Snowman in the Morning, and we're live on the SDM Sports Network as well as Real Wise Radio, live on BS3 TV and YouTube. Also on 4-Star Sports Media and 24 hours a day at official sitmorn.com. When y'all get back, I'm going in. Stay tuned.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
Baby, you see, you're so right for me, and I'm right for you. I love the things you do, like sweet tasting wine. Your lips are so divine. Your loving turns me on. My lonely days are gone. That's why I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go. Babe, I'm never gonna let you go. No, no, never gonna let you go. Baby, never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go. Babe, I'm never gonna.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Never gonna let you go.
Hey guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just,
Only you can prevent wildfires.
like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
If you can celebrate Christian McCaffrey having a 1,000 season, if you can celebrate Marshall Faulk, who had a 1,000 season by electing him into the Hall of Fame, then why can't we celebrate the guy who originated the 1,000 season with a Hall of Fame election? I'm talking about the one and only Roger Craig.
If you want some, come get some.
Welcome back.
Welcome
Snowman
back.
in the
Snowman
morning.
in the morning.
Welcome back. 19 after hour number 1. Here on Snowman in the Morning. All of our audio networks are working great. Still waiting on Cole Johnson to arrive. Sam Shady at the bottom of this hour. I'm out of breath because I had to move some things around during the last break, but we're okay. And I am going to do this.
It's time to go.
So, Steph was carried by his team. And now they want to insert the words to a championship. They want to insert the words to a championship into the sentence that Stephen Curry was carried. Would y'all do me a favor, those of you who think that? Stop the cap, please. Did you not see what he did last night? 34 points, averaged 31 in the series. He's had 3 clinching games with 30 or more points. I'm going to repeat that stat for those of you in the cheap seats at the old Oracle Arena. And I'm paying a lot of homage to the Bay Area because it's one of my favorite areas in the country. 34 points last night. He's had 3 30-point closeout games in the finals. I forgot to put that in there. In the finals, he's had 3 30-point games.
Damn!
Exactly. and he was carried. Now he was carried to a championship. Yeah, the utter blasphemy. And I'm saving this for later. Steph has been getting carried all playoffs. Wrong answer. I'm saving the rest of the utter blasphemy for later. Game 6 in the NBA World Championship was supposed to produce Game 6 Clay, but it produced Game 6 Steph instead. And that 21-0 run, bridging the first and second quarters, put the game out of reach. That 21-0 run put the game out of reach. As Chris Dietz joins us. But 6, Steph was carried by his team the entire playoffs, according to the Bronze Sexuals. I love you, Dietz, for that. I'll have Dietz back on Monday. Unanimous, clean sweep, undeniable, undisputed, without a shadow of a doubt. Period. Sick Diggy again. Let them eat gluten-free, non-dairy-free, nut-free, vegan, organic brand muffins at Christopher Dietz. It'll do wonders for their digestion. I got a Bronze Sexual confession later. Was it really unanimous for Finals MVP? Where's the love for Andrew Wiggins? Not MVP, but at least one vote worthy. I'll agree with you on that because Wiggins really stepped up later on in the finals. Problem is, so did Steph. And I think what won Steph the Finals MVP was Game 4. That won him the MVP, 43 points. Because remember, he had a doldrums game in Game 5 at home, but his teammates picked him up, including Andrew Wiggins. But this is about Steph. This is about the slander concerning Steph needing to stop. Just stop. And oh, by the way, and I'll say it again, unanimous Finals MVP. Unanimous. He got all 11 votes. What more? I mean, the question was asked when Giannis won it last year. The whispers were there. What more does Giannis have to do to put himself in the upper echelon of NBA players? Let me pose this question. What more does Steph have to do to enter the top 10 conversation of a lot of these fanalists that think they know the game? And I'm saying it right. They think they know the game, but they don't. They absolutely don't. The Steph slander needs to stop. And the Steph slander has been going on since he was selected by the Warriors in 2009. He can't stay healthy. He can't play a full season. Did that. He'll never lead his team to the playoffs. Did that. Never lead his team to the championship. First one was 2015. Now the latest. He'll never win a championship without KD. Did that last night. Had to get a little water. He did that last night. Okay. The point I'm trying to make is the Steph slander, and I will keep saying it, needs to quit. I can't say it the way my wife says it, but I can't say it the way my wife says it, but it needs to quit. Quit that mess. Quit that mess, will you? As far as I'm concerned, with Steph being the greatest shooter of all time, having the most three-pointers made in regular season, having the most three-pointers made in the playoffs, having the most three-pointers made in the NBA World Championship Series, and now picking up a unanimous Finals MVP the first time. The first time he gets MVP, it's unanimous. He sealed that in Game 4. Warriors picked him up in Game 5. And then he took care of business in game 6. And you had the feeling that after they started down 14-2, that he was going to get them back in the game. Not only did he get them back in the game, everybody got them back in the game. Everybody. Wiggins, Clay, Jordan Poole, who hit 2 threes. Everybody got them back in the game. And before the first quarter was over, they turned a 12-point deficit into a 5-point lead. And you had to have had the feeling that when Steph got started, it wouldn't stop. It just wouldn't stop. And it didn't stop. I mean, what's the thing? It don't stop because it can't stop. Well, with Steph, it don't stop because it can't stop. And this one hit a little different because you saw the emotion come out. You saw the emotion come out with his dad there, with his teammates, his coaches. 3 years ago, they had the worst record in the league. The worst. And then they barely missed the playoffs the next season. Sick Diggy in the chat, there was a reason why Michael Jordan won Finals MVP each time when the Bulls won each of their championships. Very true. I mean, it's Michael Jordan, for God's sakes. It's Michael Jordan. This sealed. I'm gonna say a sentence that a lot of people are not gonna like, but I'm gonna say it anyway. This sealed Steph's legacy. I mean, he didn't have to do anything, in my opinion, to seal his legacy, but the doubters need to just finally just shut up. Just shut up. 31, 6, and 7. Everybody want to talk about his numbers? Everybody want to talk about his numbers? And the him I'm talking about is someone I'll mention later on in the show. Now that Steph is tied with you-know-who for number of championships, you know what separates Steph from everybody else? The way that he bounced back from injury, just like Klay Thompson did, to get that title. Period. Just like Klay Thompson did, just like Draymond Green did, because remember, they all had to deal with injuries. All of them. They all had to deal with injuries. Remember, Draymond Green was gone almost 2 months with a back injury, a debilitating back injury. And we didn't know if the Warriors would have enough strength to get through the season. While they didn't get the number 1 seed, they got the number 3. And the only series they faced where they were on the road was against Memphis. And when they won game 1, even though they got blown to hell in game 5, every time as many as 55 points in game 5. And Memphis is going to be a tough out next year. They're going to be a tough out for a while. But credit the mettle of the Warriors, credit the championship experience, or as Steph calls it, their championship DNA, to get them through that Memphis series where they had to win in 6 on the road, where they clinched at home with a 120-point game against Dallas, and they clinch on the road here against Boston in the World Championship Series. And here is a factoid. I believe this to be true. With that clincher in Boston in the World Championship Series, you know the last team to clinch a championship in Boston? 1985 at the old Boston Garden. The team that did it, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and the Los Angeles Lakers. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was 38 years old. Let me say that again. 38 when he won Series MVP. MVP. Know the great part about it? Steph's 34, and he won unanimous MVP. As Cole Johnson joins me in the midst of going in, I am sick and tired. I've been a Curry fan since his days at Davidson. Okay? I've been a Curry fan since his days at Davidson. And people to this day, 13 years later, ask me, why are you a Curry fan? He hasn't done anything. Okay, 15, 17, 18, 22. What are those? Championship years. Let's see. Western Conference Finals MVP, and now the World Championship MVP. Okay? Named after two legends, Magic Johnson, Bill Russell. I see nothing wrong with that. But you Steph haters, and believe me, you Steph haters, y'all have hated Steph since he started making the playoffs. Now, let me change that. Y'all have been hating Steph since he put a foot in LeBron's ass, not once, but twice. Hell, 3 times. 3 out of 4.
I hated Steph since he was spit out the womb by Sonya. I'm sorry, did I say that aloud?
No, yeah, you said that aloud, and I see no lie.
Mm-hmm.
I see no lie. Now all you Steph haters can do something for me. And no, it's not stop the cap. It's not know your role and shut your mouth, because you'll never shut your mouth.
No, and I'm glad they don't.
And as long as a bronzexual, and as long as bronzexuals live, it's not even the message we give them. It's not the message we give them. And believe me, some of their messages hurt my ears, and I have an over-the-ear headset.
They ain't hurting mine today, though.
No, they ain't hurting mine. And you looked at the slate. I got two bronzexual confessions scheduled.
I saw.
I'm gonna piss them off because their king is a failure.
Why is it that you?
Oh, y'all want to? Hey. By the way, you want me to say it again? I'll say it again. Please it goes like this: Yo Kang is a failure. And now that I have this microphone attached to my computer, I can say a soundbite that I said before and can cut it and put it in the montage. And that sound goes like this: LeBron James has been a failure, a fraud, and a horrible basketball player for 20 years. Okay, let me repeat my other statement. I said I was going in this morning.
Oh, please.
Let me repeat my other statement, and I expect you to have all the hand motions ready. It goes like this: LeBron James has had the NBA by the throat, by the balls, handcuffed, shackled, tied to a tree, pinned to a wall, and duct taped to the floor for 20 years. And what has he done with the league in his hands? Normally, my answer would be not a doggone thing. I have a different answer this morning.
He's done something with it, but go ahead, sir. What's your answer?
Yeah, and I will say it. He's ruined it.
Well,
LeBron has ruined the NBA for 20 years.
I was perusing social media, and
oh dear God,
I was perusing social media, and it's absolutely quiet.
Ain't that great? Ain't that great? It's silent. It's wonderful. It's refreshing.
Oh my goodness, I loved it.
It's refreshing that social media is silent.
All of these Steph Curry haters have been shut up. I love it. And
Mhm.
I'm not even a Steph Curry fan. It's just I've seen so much hate for this guy. It's unreal.
Mhm.
And he doesn't
Mhm.
deserve any of it. I'm like, why are you all hating on you? Hate on him because you can't stand Aisha. You hate on him because he actually is a father to his 3 children. You hate on him
Yep.
because he's now in the midst of a dynasty. You hate on him because you can't tap Sonya's juice box. You hate on him for so
Mhm.
many different reasons. It's unreal and also what's the word? Unmanly.
And it works. That works. Now
Sad.
that I've gone in, there's a guest waiting for us. I'll let you take
Yes.
the EP duties from here.
All right. And
Sam Shady
yes,
from the Shady Sport Network.
and we're going to veer a little bit off the NBA, talk a little USFL with our
Mhm.
friend who we always do so right now, 8:35/840 every Friday morning. How are you, Sam?
I can't complain. How you guys doing today?
Well, I know my partner is absolutely over the moon right now. I'm good myself, but I know Brian is flying right now.
Yeah, it seemed like everybody was enjoying that game last night. I wasn't personally watching it. Like I've told you guys before, not much of a basketball fan, but um, hey, if anybody was gonna win, how can you not root for Steph Curry? I don't know how you could possibly hate on that man. Again, not a basketball fan, and he seems like a good dude to me.
He is. I mean, he is a
Yeah,
good
because he
dude.
actually cares.
Mm-hmm.
Because
It
he
seems
actually
like it.
cares. Mm-hmm.
He's a good dude. It's a great story.
He actually cares. Yep.
Yeah.
Underdog story and champion and a finals MVP. Oh, and what's the key word that's missing? Unanimous.
That's awesome. Well deserved, in my opinion.
Totally.
Well deserved indeed. All right,
Totally.
Cole, I'll let you take it from here. Let's talk some USFL, shall we?
All right. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. It looks like the slate is set for the playoffs. So in Canton, we're going to see the Stars, the Generals, the Breakers, and the Stallions battle it out to see who is going to be the first USFL 2.0 champion. What are your impressions so far up to week 10 of this year?
Well, I mean, I was a fan of the USFL from the moment they announced that there was going to be a league, but I think that they've proven a lot of people wrong because a lot of people said that a spring league would never make it through year one. They made it. They're headed towards their playoff with no signs of slowing down at this point. There has been a little bit of a drop in TV viewership. I think that's because we're at the end of the season and only a certain amount of games were really um, relevant when it came to the playoff picture this weekend. So I think that's why they saw a little bit of a drop in viewership. I expect it to go back up in the playoffs, but I'm thoroughly encouraged. I think this has been a great first season for the USFL, and I think they should hang their head high going into next season.
I'm glad you mentioned that point because I've been seeing, and I'm sure you have too, because you actually follow the league even closer than both Brian and I do, and we actually do follow the league pretty closely. I have heard a lot of dissenting opinions about the USFL, as if they're trying to compare it to the granddaddy of them all, the NFL. Why is it that you believe that there's this sentiment which is out there that just simply cannot, I guess, stomach how the USFL has played this year?
Oh man, I think it's really just a bias. At this point, that's the only thing I can really understand about it because when you look at it from a fan's perspective, the gameplay has been relatively decent. I mean, a lot of these guys are NFL names or former NFL names, so you can definitely recognize players on the field, so that you can't make that as an excuse. So really, I think it's just a bias. I think people at this point, they just prefer the NFL product because that's what they're used to, and there hasn't been really another competing league in so long, or even like another spring league in so long. I mean, it's been 3 years since the XFL, and before that, it was really 8 years, 9 years to the UFL, and nobody really watched the UFL, even though it made it a couple seasons. So um, it's one of those situations where I think people are just reluctant to root for spring football so far. I think if the USFL or the XFL sticks around for a while and they're able to get to the point where they can start paying, $1 million a year for these players, we'll start seeing bigger names go to the XFL, and eventually maybe people start coming over to the teams. But the big thing that I'm trying to put out there for everybody is if we don't support the leagues in their infancy, they'll never get to that point where they can get the better players and they can build the recognition like the USFL did originally.
Right. And I think that is the key right there. As you can hear, it's Sam Shady who is joining us of the Shady Sports Network, our USFL correspondent. And if you would have to pick one guy who would be the MVP of this year, which player would that be and why?
Ooh, that's a great question. That is a great question. Oh, man. I'd probably have to go with Victor Bolden, only because he's affected the game in so many different ways. He's the primary kick returner, punt returner for his team. He also is one of the number one receivers on the squad, and I believe he's top 5 in reception yards. It's been a while since I've checked the actual standings, so I'd have to look at that again, but I would say Victor Bolden so far.
Okay. That's a good choice. That's a real good choice. All right, so we did say the playoff slate is set. However, we still do have one more week to go. And how ironic, we actually get a chance to see the Stars and Generals give us a preview as to what's to come in Canton. But first, they will do battle in Birmingham. Do you think that this would be, I guess you could say, a leg up on the team that wins this particular game before they actually match up again in the playoffs?
That's a great question, and actually, I think this is going to be a battle of two different teams looking at this game in a different way. So the Generals are on an 8-game win streak. They've lost one game all season long. Their playoff seed is completely set. There's no way Philadelphia can change that, even with a win this weekend. They just won last weekend. Again, they've got nothing but momentum on their side at this point. But they're also rolling into a completely meaningless week for them. There's no reason for this game to be a victory for them. It's not going to affect them if they lose. So I think there's an off chance that we see Kyle Laletta play a lot of the game and that they give Luis Perez and DeAndre Johnson the rest of the game off. They might start, but I could see Laletta playing quite a bit. With that being said, on the flip side, the Stars need this win. They need momentum. If they lose this weekend, what hope do you have going into the playoffs? You have none, because you're facing the exact same team the next week, and they're on a roll. They're literally have won 9 straight at that point, and they're heading into the playoffs as the hottest team in the USFL. So at that point, your hope's out the window to win the game. So you need to take this victory. You need to look good doing it, and you need to get your quarterback situation right, because after Case Cookus had that big game in week 8, he came back in week 9 and completed less than half of his passes, didn't throw a touchdown, and threw an interception. So, I mean, that's really concerning right now heading into the playoffs.
Yeah. If you need anything to go right for any team that goes to the playoffs, it definitely is quarterback play for sure. That kickoff is at noon Eastern tomorrow on the USA Network as well. Let's touch on the noon kickoff on Sunday. That would be the Panthers and the Maulers, each coming with a 1-8 record. what positives do you believe each team needs to take away from this season, although they have 2 wins between them?
Well, we just talked about quarterback play in the last game. Might as well stick with the theme, right? So in this game, we have 2 teams that have bounced around the quarterback carousel all season long. Josh Love and Shea Patterson were ultimately released by Michigan, and they have 3 different quarterbacks that did not start the season on the roster. And then we see the same thing in Pittsburgh with Vad Lee and Roland Rivers. Last week, we saw both Vad Lee and Roland Rivers play. And then in Michigan, you saw Barriere, a new quarterback who had not played to this point, who's actually listed as a quarterback / wide receiver, which I thought was interesting. But both of these teams need to figure out who their quarterback is going to be going forward. Heading into next season, you want to have some sort of idea who the quarterback is going to be long term, especially with Michigan and Pittsburgh both having fairly young options at this point. With them shedding the guys that they knew more about, the guys they chose to draft, they need to get playing time for these guys, and they need film heading into next season to know if these guys are going to be worthwhile.
Yeah, I agree. Let's touch on the late kickoff on Sunday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern for that one. The Breakers and the Gamblers. Now, the Breakers, of course, are going through to the playoffs. The Gamblers have, I guess you could say, the most signature win in the USFL this season, giving the Stallions their first defeat of the season. Well, I know that's the positive that the Gamblers are going to take. What do you think the Breakers need to do to still continue that momentum that they've had as of late, so that they get a chance to have the confidence to face the Stallions when the playoffs happen for them next week?
As much as I said quarterback play in every other game, I think the key for the Breakers this week and in the playoffs is their run game. They got Anthony Jones going for a little bit there, and I know he suffered a minor injury, and I don't know if he's going to be playing in this game. I'll have to look into it. But assuming that they have Anthony Jones playing, they need to get that run game going. If they don't produce a 100-yard runner in this game, I think there's a good chance the Houston Gamblers ultimately will pick up their 3rd victory of the season and their 2nd in a row over the South playoff teams, which would be ironic given my opinion of them all season, because I thought they're one of the better teams in the league. They just have fallen short literally by a point sometimes. And it's one of those situations where you see them having the ball bounce the opposite way almost every week. And finally, it bounced their way against Birmingham, and it turned out to be a great game and a great win.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the Gamblers, if they were to notch a victory against the Breakers, yeah, that would be a great way to go into the offseason and into 2023. Now, that leads me to the final game this week, but it's not the final game on the slate this week. It's a Saturday at 4 p.m. kickoff. The hometown Stallions will be, quote, on the road, close quote, against the Bandits to end the season. How do you think the Stallions need to attack this game? Do you think they need to attack this game to prove to the Breakers next week that the loss to the Gamblers the week before didn't really faze them and needed to come out and show a sign of force? Or should they rest up in lieu of what they're seeing and prepare for next week?
In my personal opinion, I think they need to get right in this game. And in my personal opinion, you play the starters until you feel convinced that they've turned around these past couple weeks. I know that Birmingham was undefeated heading into week 9, but if you watch the games they've played, they have not been convincing wins for the past couple weeks. They've won a lot of close games, and that's great. Don't get me wrong. You got to win close games to be a successful team in any league. But at the same time, it was kind of showing chinks in their armor. There was a couple games there where Jamar Smith did not look very good. And this past weekend, he again kind of struggled. So they need to get him back on track. The run game got completely silenced by Houston. That cannot happen heading into the playoffs. I can't stress that enough.
Yeah.
If you're asking Jamar Smith to throw the ball 40 times in a game, you're probably going to lose. That goes for any team in the USFL right now. If you're throwing the ball 40 times and only running it about 20, you've got issues. You need to be more balanced.
Yes.
That's my main concern is their run game. They had Scarborough rolling for a couple weeks there, and then all of a sudden this past weekend, 11 carries for 21 yards, I think it was. So that's very concerning.
Dietz has a really good question. He asks, what's the contract policy with the USFL? If guys get an NFL deal, are they allowed to bail?
Actually, I'm glad you asked. Thank you for that question. Yes, they are allowed to bail. And here's the best part about the USFL contracts. If they go to training camp with an NFL team and they're released, they get their spot right back in the USFL. They're allowed to return with their exact contract they had when they left. Nothing changes. They go right back to the same team, all of that.
Okay. That's a good question. Thank you, Dietz. But then again, that's Dietz. He asks real good questions anyway. All right. So you have the Stars and the Generals for the last week of the season. You have the Stars and Generals. You have the Stars, the Bandits. You have the Panthers, the Maulers. You have the Breakers, and the Gamblers. Now, the running theme for 310 is closest geographical rival. Now, was this an actual plan that the USFL wanted to do, similar to like how college basketball does it and college football does it? Or was it just simply they just scheduled it this way?
I think it was planned. I think all season long we've seen kind of matchups built by the league to try and build some sort of rivalry, because they were kind of like playing that up in the beginning of the season. In order for leagues and fans to have a true attachment to your team, I feel rivals are very important. So trying to build these rivalries in season one was very important for the USFL as like a goal. And I think that this was 100% by design. They are trying to play up every little bit of storyline they can, and as they should. I mean, this league needs reason for fans to watch. So this is just more reason for fans to watch, albeit that we all know that this is the hub season. So the regions are kind of goofy thinking about it. They're all playing in the same stadium. So it's a question on how much it really helps the in-stadium feel. But from a viewer's perspective, I personally think it still matters.
Right. Ryan, he asks, and how you doing, brother? He asks, does the same out also apply to other leagues like the indoor leagues or CFL or any other, or XFL even?
I'm not positive about the XFL. I know the XFL struck a deal with the NFL saying that they can have opt-in for practice squad players. So I would imagine there's going to be some sort of situation where the player's not going to lose his spot in the XFL if he tries to go to the NFL, especially with how closely aligned they are. As far as indoor football leagues, that is not a thing, actually. That is not allowed. They do not, I mean, from a coach's perspective, they might encourage their players to pursue NFL deals and stuff like that. But it is not something where they will be able to return to their team. In fact, I correspond with a couple players. One of the players that I talked to, he ended up, how do I want to put this? He ended up being released by his team due to how much CFL and NFL interest he was garnering. And they said, hey, if this doesn't work out, come back to us. If everything works out with us, we'll bring you back. Well, he's running into a situation now where those workouts didn't pan out for him. He didn't get a contract out of them. And he tried to go back to the IFL, and the teams just aren't answering the phone. They're not bringing him back. So it's one of those situations where he did what he thought was best for his career and pursued those CFL, NFL deals. And then it turned around and it kind of bit him in the butt, because now he doesn't have that fallback option he had before with the IFL. But the timing of everything makes it extremely difficult for these guys who are in the IFL to try and make it to the NFL. because right now the IFL is in week 14. I think they have 3 or 4 more weeks to go, and then they have the playoffs. So if you're on a playoff team, you're playing all the way deep into July. So
Right.
I mean, at that point, you're basically playing right up to NFL training camp.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, yeah, they will start reporting about the next to last weekend in July. You're correct about that. Sam Shady of the Shady Sports Network joining us as he does every Friday at 8:35 Eastern, 6:35 where he is presently. All right. So how can the people reach you, sir?
We're on Spotify. We're on Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, Shady Sports Network, everywhere you look. I do want to highlight our Spotify. We will be having some MMA coverage coming up on a weekly basis. We've got a contributor on the channel. He's actually my co-host on my USFL weekly podcast, so also check that out on Spotify. But he's going to be doing Fights in 5, so is what he's calling it. So he's going to highlight every UFC fight every week in 5 minutes or less. So it should be kind of fun to keep track of for anybody who's into fighting. I definitely will be watching it. I'm kind of like an amateur fight fan, I guess you could say. So definitely check that out. And then we're working on getting some hockey coverage. And I mentioned it here a couple days ago in the chat. Colorado Avalanche just won Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. So got to support the hometown team. So we'll be having some reaction videos coming as well on the YouTube channel. So stay tuned for all that. And then, definitely always catch me here Fridays, because this is one of the funnest things I do every week. I thoroughly enjoy talking to you guys every week. And Snowman in the Morning, I mean, great show, great audience. You can't ask for much more than that on a Friday morning.
Well, we definitely can't ask much more than to have analysts like you. And definitely soak in all of the Stanley Cup final love and energy, because I know you're having a fun time now. This is Sam Shady of the Shady Sports Network, as he joins us every Friday at 8:35 Eastern and I'm just so happy and giddy that we get a chance to talk football with you. It's always a pleasure, my man, and you have a wonderful weekend.
You guys too. I'll catch you next week.
All right. See you then. Again, that's Sam Shady of the Shady Sports Network. We will take a pause for the cause, and we'll come back. On the other side, we will have Ben Southern III of the BS3 Network. You are listening and watching Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. We'll be right back.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
Baby, you see, you're so right for me, and I'm right for you. I love the things you do, like sweet
go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up?
Here's a 2-1. And that's driven deep to left center field. Gardner is going back. Looking up. See you later. See you later. Astros headed back to the World Series. Jose Altuve, a walk-off 2-run homer. And the Astros beat the Yankees 6-4. Win the ALCS 4-2.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Hey, this promises to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait. Are you kidding me? Do you believe it?
If I get a chance to talk to Robert Ford, I probably would have to ask him, how excited were you when you called that home run from Altuve? Welcome back to hour number 2 of Snowman in the Morning on a fantastic Friday edition of it with Brian Snow. I am Cole Johnson, and we are currently joined by the owner, the operator, and the manipulator of the BS3 Network, along with BS3 Sports and many other content that is good for our eyes and our ears and our souls. That is one Ben Sutter III. How are you doing this morning, sir?
What's going on? Glad to be here on this fantastic Friday.
Yes. We're glad to have you on this fantastic Friday. The first question I have to ask you is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how hoarse is your father?
Extremely hoarse. He won't be able to talk for the next week.
Mm-hmm.
Did he start yelling when the 21-0 run started? Because I growled at the TV when they were down 14-2. But then I kind of knew the Warriors would get back in it. But then to blitz them 21-0. Yeah, my wife said the same thing and brought me tea last night.
Yeah, so interesting enough, I was on the phone with my mom because we're going there this weekend to Atlanta. I can hear my dad in the background like, "Come on, Steph, come on, Clay." I mean, so he was locked in. So there was a lot of yelling going on.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad
we gotta
got
get
a
him on.
chance to see
We
you.
gotta get him on the program.
Yeah. Oh,
we
well,
gotta
not only
get him on the program.
Not only
we'll
that,
find a way to do it.
Not only that. Not only is he a Warriors fan, but he shares our what's the word? Disdain for those who are bronzexuals as well.
That's all I need to know.
So if we
That's
do get
all
him
I need
on,
to
it
know.
will be on a Wednesday. Yes.
That's all I need to know.
So
and I got a bronzexual. I got a bronzexual confession after this interview and before we bring Chris Bass aboard, and we already know that's going to be off the hook, so I want to be sure to get that in. Ben Sutter joining you this morning. Talk about, if you would, Ben, the key to the Warriors winning this championship?
Yeah, I think there's a ton of keys. I think the biggest one is just the team basketball. I mean, like if you think about the
Would you
Spurs.
say that again, please? Say that again, please.
Team TEAM, team basketball.
Yes.
And I think a very key thing that I don't know how many people mention is Andre Iguodala was a player coach in this series.
Basically,
you can see he was coaching up Wiggins, he was coaching up Gary Payton II. You can't put a number on that. You can't put a stat on that. But that definitely was huge. Steph being Steph, Clay doing what he could. You could tell that Clay wasn't Game 6 Clay, or wasn't back to his normal self. But I think, there was just the team basketball aspect, the coaching, obviously, and that experience. We talk about experience like it doesn't mean anything, but it means a lot because that's what it helped them, I think, and propelled them, to win this championship.
No question.
Ben Sutterthwaite is talking championship DNA, talking Game 6 of the NBA World Championship Series. Why are so many people, Ben and Cole, I pose to you the same question. Why are so many people not wanting to give the Warriors their flowers now because they play team basketball?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of reasons. Number one is because it's team light skin. People don't like light skinned people for some reason.
Wow.
Preach.
They just can't stand when the high
They can't stand it. They can't stand it. Oh man. Well,
Yes, sir.
I think Ben just kicked the doors open to the church this morning, y'all. I mean, he kicked them open wider than I did in beginning the program. Woo! And the best part is, we all, myself included, have been saying that, and people think we're nuts in saying that.
It's true. It's true.
It is true.
Ow. You gotta be Holy Ghost dancing up here this Friday morning.
Wait. Been true since the Splash Brothers were officially drafted. I mean, come on. I mean, then you bring Jordan Poole into the equation. Then you bring Moses Mooney into the man. Preach, Ben. Please preach.
Yeah, and I'll say too. I don't think in this era, or I think in this society, we don't like dynasties. For some reason, we can't stand to see teams win more than once. And my mom was saying she was at the grocery store and or she was somewhere, and this guy was like, "Yeah, let somebody else win." And I was like, "It don't work that way. You gotta beat them.
No.
You don't let somebody else win. That's not how it works."
What have I said to you, Brian? When it comes to the NBA, you build a team, and there is a team that normally is going to be the top dog, and the goal of the other teams is to stop the top dog. Don't complain about it. Don't whimper about it. Don't kvetch about it. Do what you need to do to usurp the top dog, and until then, allow the top dog to cook and be the top dog, because obviously there isn't a team that's as good as they are, and all you can do is just give them the props. That's all you can do.
Yep, and they cooked last night. Again, that 21-0 run put the Warriors on top. ... to stay.
Good.
They basically held a double-digit lead from 50 seconds into the second quarter, all the way through the end. And I nearly got my prediction, because people in the in a couple of group chats that I'm in were saying, "Oh, Boston's got this. We're going to see a Game 7 on Sunday." My immediate prediction was 105-93 Warriors. And I got chopped for that. And people are, "You really think they're going to win by double?" Hell yeah.
Well,
and they were giving me
the winner
all
of every
kinds
game
of
is by double digits. Every game.
I mean, every game in the finals was decided by double digits. And, they were getting on me. Oh, they're up 14-2. It's early. It's early. And then when alerts were going nuts on my phone, I was watching the game, trying to allow my wife to rest. So I had to I had to turn the game off because I feel for my wife. She was so tired yesterday. So I came in here to my office and found the 95.7 the game feed, which is what y'all heard this morning with Bob Fitzgerald on the call along with Jim Barnett. And to hear the Warriors drop bucket after bucket after bucket, and the threes weren't falling in the first quarter.
Nope.
So what do? As Cole said beautifully, yes, slice him backdoor.
That's right.
Can I preach? Can I preach now, gentlemen? You beat him by backdoor cut. This team with Steve Kerr has been death by 1,000 backdoor cuts since Steve Kerr took over. And to me, coaching philosophy style, that's the difference between he and Mark Jackson. I love you, Mark Jackson, but I can't tell you how many times with the two legends that Steve Kerr has played under, Phil Jackson and Greg Popovich, you don't beat the team from distance, even though you have the weapons to beat them from distance. You beat them back. You beat their asses backdoor. How many backdoor cuts during that 21-0 run did we see before Steph went crazy?
What have I been telling you all about how Golden State gets down? People focus on the fact that they're a 3-point shooting team. It's not the fact that it's not the fact that they're prolific with it. It's the fact that they're efficient, and I think people miss that. It's not the fact that they launch 50 of them in the game. They can.
Right.
It's not that. It's about the fact that they can shoot their fair share and hit at least 40% of them. If not in this game, I think it was 50. That is where that's where the crippling aspect of their shooting comes into play, because then you're so focused on trying to stop them from hitting threes, because those are normally backbreakers. When they hit it, you get one backdoor cut after another. And I keep telling you, backdoor cut after backdoor cut. Basically, the Warriors the offense is Princeton on steroids.
Let's get a couple of more thoughts from Ben before we we head to break. Ben, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so I think one of the other big aspects of this Warriors team is that they capitalize off of turnovers. You've seen all the turnovers they were getting from the Celtics, and that was huge. And they're I agree with you, Cole, that they're efficient. When they have to hit threes, they hit threes, and then when the ball gets rolling, it's over. There's no I'm gonna try to catch up. There is no catching up.
No.
Because at that point, at that point, you can't keep up with them. And again, this was during a time when Clay was not being normal Clay.
That's the scary part.
To me, that's the scary part. And then I'll say this: they were talking about it last night. Wiseman's going to be coming back. Kuminga is young. Jordan Poole. Nobody's going anywhere. Nope. So this team is definitely going to be back. It's definitely going to be back next year. As long as everybody's healthy. Another year with Clay, coming back better. So I mean, this is a true dynasty in the sense of the words.
Ben Sutter joining us here on the program to talk all things NBA World Champion Golden State Warriors. Ben, we love having you on each and every Friday morning at this time. Can't wait to do it again in 7 days.
Yes, looking forward to it. Appreciate it.
See you, Ben.
Thank you very much. Ben Sutter is joining us here on the program. 16 after the hour during hour number 2 of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. We're going to forego the break. And Cole, do me a favor. Would you please open our favorite segment? I got about 20 minutes to kill. So would you please open our favorite segment? Open it, please.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
In a world where partial greatness is celebrated and total greatness is shunned, there stands to be a figure on the lips of those who love him and those who hate him. The inane comparisons to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant continue and has existed since 2003. There is no end in sight, for the battle between those who unconditionally love and unconditionally hate him wages on. These are their stories. Welcome to the Bronzexual Confessions.
Cook. Go right ahead and get right to it. Yo Kang is a failure because everyone wants to celebrate the fact that I saw it on social media in the form of a question. And that question was, does Steph Curry belong in the upper echelon of players?
Yes.
And I also read a statement as I was perusing social media, and the statement that I read, open that beautiful quote footage for me, please.
Oh, Lord, here we go. Quote.
Steph is okay, but LeBron still deserves GOAT status as he took 3 different teams to a championship. Now slam the door.
Close quote. Before you continue. Have at it, sir.
Okay. You idiots. I got into it. I'm going to read an exchange.
Oh, Lord.
I got into it.
Oh, Lord.
You know what? I will put it in this form. I have to, because there's no other way. I'm great. Yeah, thank you. I had conversations with Bronson last night.
Oh, no.
In the midst of Stephen Curry cooking.
Jealous
okay?
heifers.
You jealous heifers. The post read as follows. In the form of a question, Polo Petey, and I'm calling people out.
Oh, no.
Said, quote, could Steph Curry end up having a better career than Bron? Close quote.
Yes.
Justin P. White says, winning 3 chips with 3 different teams alone is outstanding. I don't think we'll ever see that from a star player and finals MVP for all of them.
Really?
Justin White also says, more championships possibly, but not a better career. That pissed me off.
That's
I jumped in. That's a lie plus. So I jumped in and said, oh yes, already a better career than LeBum.
Not LeBum.
And I also responded to Dennis. Don't ask. That's what the name says.
I won't.
He asked me if I was kidding.
What?
I said, no, I am not. And then I said this statement. And Cole, you've heard me say this a million times. Open that beautiful quote footage for me, please.
Quote.
Stephen Curry has done more in 13 seasons than Bron has done in 19. Period. Slam the door.
Close quote. And before you continue, in fact, now it is proof because Curry has won the same amount of chips in 6 less years than
in 6 less
there came.
Yeah. Dennis says, like what? And Justin P. White says, you serious? My response is the following. Hell yes, I am serious. And he did it only doing one thing. Then I invited them, thirsty bitches, to listen to my show during hour 1. Didn't get there during hour 1, but we're here now. And I shall explain. Justin White says, let me ask you a question. Is Steph Curry a top 10 all-time great? My true response is getting there. Steph still has more to do and more to prove. MJ said that.
Yeah.
Justin West says, so if he's getting there, how has he accomplished more than LeBron? LeBron is only chasing one person, and that's MJ. Bullshit. He ain't chasing him anymore. LeBron is giving up on winning championships.
LeBron is chasing. Only
Can I preach that again? Can I preach that again? LeBron is giving up on chasing MJ. He's giving up on chasing championships. Then the logic behind calling a top 2-3 player all time being called a bum, not even worth the debate. Well, you don't know how to debate and you don't know basketball. So yeah, I'm throwing y'all's insults right back in your face. Eat me.
So LeBron is only chasing Michael Jordan.
Hell no.
No. Hell to the no.
Hell to the no. To the no. Listen.
Lord have mercy.
Thank you. Kevin Rhodes. Why do y'all say something goofy then try and plug your show? Ain't watching that goofy BS. Well, I'm sorry that you don't know basketball, and I'm sorry that you're not a fan. We don't need false fans like you. I said your loss, and my statement is being proven tonight. Kevin Rhodes comes back. Curry has 21. Brown has 23. Brown better than the bum too, right? Actually, yes. They led their team in every major statistical category, right? Excuse me, Steph led both teams in every statistical category, correct? Goofy. Hey, Kevin Rose, did you watch the rest of the game last night?
No.
He finished with a game high, and here's the magic number, 34 points. Let me say that again for those of you in the cheap seats at the old Oracle Arena and at the old Summit in Houston, and from my hometown, the old Chicago Stadium. Stephen Curry finished with 34 points. By the way, a game high.
That's right.
And let me throw a couple of other facts out there. Okay? This is the show with the hottest of hot takes and the coldest of cold hard facts, and y'all are about to freeze. Stephen Curry has now had not one, not two, but 3 closeout games in the World Championship Series where he has dropped 30. 17, 18, and 22.
But he's not clutch.
But he's not That's a going in subject for another time. Because I can go in all day on that. But since we only got 11 minutes, let me use these 11 minutes very wisely.
Okay.
34 points last night. Look me in the eye and tell me, where is the lie where Curry is not clutch? Oh, by the way, did you see the 34-footer he hit in the third period to put his team up by 22 points? Did you see that? Or did you turn a blind eye and a deaf ear and an empty stomach to that knowledge? I said it during the opening, and I'm going to say it again. The slander for Steph Curry needs to stop, especially when it comes to these bronze sexuals when they drop to their knees and insert the member of their king into their mouth because they can't stand the fact that their king is a loser and a fraud and a failure. And oh, by the way, I said it before and I will say it again right here. LeBron James has been a horrible basketball player, fabulous athlete, but horrible basketball player for 19 years. And what has the NBA done about it in between two commissioners? Nothing. To spell it the way Daffy Duck said it, and to borrow from my grandchildren, Nuethlyon. Yes, I know that's an incorrect spelling, but I was watching a cartoon with my children and my grandchildren, and I couldn't help it.
Well, the NBA has done something with it. They've promoted it.
Falling through the cracks.
Yeah, they've promoted it. They've promoted the dickens out of it. Because obviously this was supposed to be the next Jordan. I'm sorry, continue. Sorry.
Who the hell told, well, David Stern told that
Yeah,
lie.
I was about to say that came from high up.
David Stern told that lie.
Mm-hmm.
David Stern told that lie.
Remember,
Let me say it again. David Stern told that lie.
Remember, this was set up before he even touched an NBA court. So we already
And
know.
Nike set him up before he touched an NBA court.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, Bron, how's that Nike deal going for you? And while I'm at it, have you been to Oregon lately? And by the way, have you been to Progressive Field lately? Oh, did I mention that aloud? I'm sorry.
Oh, did you say Progressive Field, LeBron?
I did.
Oh, you did? Hold on a second. Because I could have
Go with
sworn
it.
we saw something that we should not have seen in that arena. I think it was this.
This is some good.
That was your wife doing that mess. That was LeBron. Listen to me carefully. That was your wife doing that mess on national television. Change that. Worldwide television, because people in other countries get Fox Sports, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Making an absolute dumbass fool out of herself with that puff. And people still want to lump your credit with starting a school, which ain't yours, by the way.
Yeah, it's Ohio. It's state Ohio's.
Now you want to build things and send kids to college. I look. Let me say something instead of kudos to you.
Oh,
you
wow.
want to send kids to college? Whoop de freaking do. MJ did it first. You want to build a dynasty about shoes? MJ did it first. You want to hit a game winner in a playoff series? Hate to tell you this, but MJ beat you to it. Remember the date of May 7th, 1989. So you want to be a billionaire? MJ beat you to it. So you want to own a team in Las Vegas? MJ beat you to it in his home state of North Carolina. Fool. So you want to be a great basketball player? No.
Wait. All right, hold on. Let's see if we could do this right. So you say, LeBron, that you are aiming to be the greatest basketball player who's ever lived. Bishop.
Hell no. To the no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no. Listen.
No. My southern twang's coming out. Matter of fact, roll that beam footage again for me, please. Please.
No problem.
Hell no. To the no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no. Listen.
McCarthy. And I will also invoke Colin Cowherd while I'm at it. Ryan McCarthy says, quote, LBJ winning titles on 3 different teams shows he's only loyal to himself. Steph Curry is loyal to the Warriors and what they're building, which is why Steph Curry said, nah, we're good.
I'm good.
He said, nah, I'm good. And Steph Curry is better than LeBron James. Oh, I never got to the key point in all of this.
There's a key point?
I never got to the key point in all of this.
You were roasting these fools. I thought that was the key point.
I forgot to drop this.
Oh Lord,
we gotta get a graphic with a mic drop for the chat and for us.
Definitely.
I told these fools last night during this exchange that Steph Curry only did one thing to change the game forever. Now, before I mention what that thing is, and y'all should know what it is because I've said it before, I've had bronzesexuals come to me and say, have you ever seen a guy 6'7", 260 drive to the lane that he did? Actually, yeah, because his name is Moses Malone.
And Moses
His
Malone,
name is Karl Malone. His name is Scottie Pippen at small forward. His name was James Worthy at a small forward. Big forward, Kurt Rambis. Larry Bird did it. Kevin McHale did it. Well before Braun showed up. Here's the one thing that you fools seem to forget. And that is this. And I've said it 100,000 times. Here's 100,001. Stephen Curry came into this league and took an anomaly and turned it into a weapon. Let me say that again for you bronzesexuals that refuse to believe someone other than Yo Kang did something to change the game forever. And here it is. Open that quote footage for me, please.
All right. Here we go. Let's see. Let's find it here. And
quote. Stephen Curry took an anomaly and turned it into a weapon, which was a line 23 feet, 6 inches away from the bat. And Steph Curry went further and further and further from the basket. Once again, Stephen Curry took an anomaly and turned it into a weapon. What has Yo Kang done in 19 years to change the game forever? You know, like Magic did, being a 6'9" point guard, like Larry Bird being a smooth forward when people called him slow, like MJ did, flying the air with the greatest of ease, and then having the second most indefensible shot, like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar having the most indefensible shot in the league, the skyhook. I've gone through LeBron's, if you want to call it, library of games. And I haven't seen a GD thing that he's done to change the game forever.
You went there, huh?
Want me to say it again? I'm going all the way there. I went through LeBron's somewhat progression, which should have happened after 2008, but then he got a mud hole stomped in his ass in 2009, which basically ended his progression. I've gone through the library and I haven't seen a GD thing that he's done to change the game. In honor of grandchildren, I'm trying not to swear. Now let me wrap this up by saying one more time. Stephen Curry came into the league and took an anomaly and turned it into a weapon. An anomaly into a weapon. LeBron James never had a weapon coming into the league. His game never progressed. And all he cares about is himself. Because now, since Forbes declared him as a billionaire, God help us, I'm hoping one day he just rides off into the sunset and produces B-list movies that no one watches and that billionaire status crumbles. Because this game never got there. Close this itch.
In a world where logic and sense flies completely out the window, while purple and yellow glasses are donned, rises a figure who encourages ridiculous, undying loyalty. 'Cause Curry changed lives. Good Lord, I'm about to throw up. This has been yet another installment of The Bronsexual Confession Fest.
37 after hour number 2. And now it is time for this.
Yeah, well, let's do a commercial break. We'll come back and we'll lead into it.
Okay. All right. We'll do a commercial break and then we'll come back with you know what's coming on Friday.
Yes, right. Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. You just heard Brian cook. We're gonna cook some more right to this.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
Baby, you see, you're so right for me, and I'm right for you. I love the things you do, like sweet tasting wine. Your lips are so divine. Your loving turns me on. My lonely days are gone. That's why I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go. Babe, I'm never gonna let you go. No, no, never gonna let you go. Baby, never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
If you can celebrate Christian McCaffrey having a 1,000,000 season, if you can celebrate Marshall Faulk, who had a 1,000,000 season by electing him into the Hall of Fame, then why can't we celebrate the guy who originated the 1,000,000 season with a Hall of Fame election? I'm talking about the one and only Roger Craig.
If you want some, come get some.
Welcome back to Snowman in the Morning.
Back at it here with Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson, with Brian Snow. I'm Cole Johnson. And I guess it is now time, as we do every single Friday at 9:35 Eastern on Friday, bring in the man who is the Boom Shakalaka King. That is the man who is CBI, Street News Now, and Chris Bass Interviews, none other than Mr. Chris Bass. How are you, sir?
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning to Brian, and good morning to Cole, and good morning out there, all the lovely faces in the places. So thank you so much for being here. I always appreciate our time together.
I do too. So
I appreciate it also, my friend.
So what is in the mind today or in this past week of one Chris Bass?
Oh, on a personal note, I got a chance to meet my grandson in person last Friday last week. My daughter Mattia and her husband Edward and my grandson Emery flew in to Chicago last week. And so I didn't do baseline last Friday because I spent time with my family. And I got a chance to hold my grandson. He turned 1 year old last Thursday, June 9th. And again, just to have that blessing is beyond words for me. So my heart is still soaring from that.
Congratulations, proud grandpapa.
Congratulations,
I know.
brother.
I know the feeling when I met my grandchildren, and in particularly both of my grandsons who are now 3, and just to hold them and get to know them and be around them, it's something else.
It really is. It's more than a blessing. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, I love my grandson, but he was hollering his yass off, and only because of the fact that it's the first time he made a trip, out of Phoenix and come to Chicago to meet his family on Mattia's side of the family, which is my side of the family. I was with my daughter, and then Edward's side of the family the following day. So his head was spinning. So anytime somebody held him, he cried bloody murder and don't touch me. And the thing about meeting my grandson in person, because when we were on the phone, do the Duo app, and so that's the time I got a chance to see him before I got a chance to meet him in person.
Mm-hmm.
So he would get the phone just like this and look at me and start smiling, and then he hits no video. Now I'm like, no videos here. And every time he gets, I'm like, what kind of crap is that, man? I'm grandfather. You don't no video your grandfather. What the hell is wrong with you? So I think when he saw me in person, he was like, oh, that's no video dude. I know him, but he couldn't swipe right and get rid of me. So I think that got on his nerve a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad I got a chance to meet him in person. That's one of my heartbeats.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I told the story meeting my granddaughters. Jody and I drove to Indianapolis, and Jody told me, "Look, take a bit of a hands-off approach." She's like, I know you the kids, but let them come to you. I said, all right, that's fine. And I was tired because we had been running all day. I went to sleep on the couch. The next thing I know, Anastasia was here under my left arm. Fan was like laying on top of my head on top of the couch. Or Gracie was up here. And then Fantasia was on this side. And they had this evil smile as if to say, okay, you're granddad now.
Yeah.
And they tickled me half to death.
It's
You know
a
what?
beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
I wouldn't trade any time with my children or grandchildren for nothing. I wouldn't trade anything for time with them.
Wow.
It's nice. It's beautiful. It's nice.
It's very beautiful. It's nice. I love that word. It's nice. It's nice.
nice.
And Beige used that word when we were doing a Chicago State game on a follow-up slam, and all I heard Bass go was nice. I said, I have to keep that.
Well, you know, I got that when I was back at WLS AM. In fact, when I first started to train, I got in there as a board op. So I was about to train for my first week. There was an older gentleman who worked in engineering. And so there was this lady walked by. She was very attractive, stacked, and she walked past us and knew him. Hey, I think his name was Frank. So, hey, Frank, how you doing? Hey, how you doing, baby? And then she walked past. He looked at me. That's nice. Nice.
And been a mainstay ever since in the base vernacular. Love it.
It's something else when you get a chance to build DNA for character, and I mean by that as a personality. As we all know, working in broadcasting, when you're young and you try to find who you are, and you try to find what works for you. And some people create personas, and some people just that who they are naturally. And so when I pick up certain things on the way, it's to build up persona. So I mean, going back to that guy, it's been years ago since I talked to him, but he was just no nonsense. The old school guys, and you can't use the word nowadays. But I remember the same incident where the lady walked past, and I don't mean to offend anybody. This is back in the day, and the guy was much older than me. After he said nice, I said, yeah, she's beautiful. He said, that's a good-looking broad.
I haven't heard that term in decades.
Exactly, right. See, it depends on what kind of era you come up in. So, but using broad was the very popular vernacular back in the day. But yeah, he meant that's a good-looking broad. Had the face and everything else. So I always look at people's characters and what makes them tick. And so, phasing into, let me congratulate the Warriors, the 103-90 victory, getting their 4th championship. I don't have a fight in the game or cat in the game or skin in the game, but I like the Warriors.
I don't either.
The class organization, they do it the old-fashioned way. They build, they add pieces, they do what they do, and it happens to work. When it comes down to certain other organizations, I just think they don't commit to excellence or commit to building or building championships because it costs too much. Well, that's what you're supposed to do in the first place. You're supposed to invest and then have the payoff down the road if you're fortunate to get to the playoffs and to get the chip. So they remind me of that old school mentality like the Lakers used to be and the Celtics and my beloved Bulls. They had that type of mentality where you put all the pieces together and you see what works and see what doesn't work. It's not brain surgery. When you talk about and it becomes brain surgery, I think you lose the whole gamut of why you're there in the first place, to build an organization to win multiple championships.
Yeah, that strikes me.
We talked about this earlier in the program that these NBA fans today, or these fanalists today, don't like dynasties. How many times have we heard, especially during the dynasties that Base mentioned, the Lakers, the Celtics, the Bulls, let somebody else win. Somebody else needs to win. Okay, if somebody else needs to win, then they need to knock off the defending champions.
Yeah.
And right now they haven't.
Yeah, that's the name of the game. The name of the game is to be the king.
Yeah.
And to be the king as long as you possibly can. That's the name of the game. And for many people who want to assume that it's all about parity and it's all about everybody gets a fair shot. Well, yeah, that's cool and all. But it's about if the team who was eventually the champion, if they built it in the way that no other team can usurp. Because I thought that was the name of the game, is to build your team to be the best It could be when their season, when that particular professional sports season is over.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the case, fine. And then once they win it, they want to stay there as long as they can. And then if there's some other team that's better, so be it. You just tip your cap to them and you move on. You try to rebuild and you try to build your team to usurp the next king.
Right.
Mhm.
The fact,
And
the fact that you, yeah.
after last night, and after last night, the Warriors looked at the rest of the NBA and went, "Sorry, checkmate." They went checkmate. And remember, they were minus James Wiseman all year. Yeah, everybody said, "Oh, they're going to get beat on the inside. They're going to get whipped on the inside." 21 offensive rebounds last night. 21. But it doesn't have. Oops.
This is something that people don't talk about with the Warriors. They have the ability to cover up what they don't do well or what they don't have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Wiseman was supposed to be basically what Robert Williams III happens to be for the Celtics. So they didn't have that presence. So what did they do? Well, they basically do big man by committee. And they try to find which guy that could do it. It ended up being Looney. And you paired him off of Green, and that helped. So that basically was the band-aid to what they did, because the other things they do in perimeter defense, play passing lanes, transition offense, efficient deep shooting, and basically just simply getting the easy point, as many easy points as you possibly can on their end. They do that better than any team in the league. Right. And if you doubt that, look at the trophy they just hoisted up last night. That's proof.
Absolutely. It takes hard work, and you have to have the skill and the will. And then when it pays off like that, my Native American heart soars when I see that, when they're in the locker room and got the goggles on, the champagne, and everything else. It's what you live for. And it's moments like that that's like, man, that's what sports is all about. Yeah. On a side note, I've always been a fan of Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was one of those people that came along when I was a youth who just really changed the game for martial arts movies. And so he done 5 movies. So someone had an impact to do 5 movies is incredible. So I go with the original titles, not the titles that they give you. So the original titles of the movies he's done was The Big Boss, and then Fist of Fury, The Way of the Dragon, Enter the Dragon, and Game of Death. Now, unfortunately, Game of Death was not finished because, unfortunately, he passed away. And as most people do, and most people in the industry, they record all the fight scenes first, and then the acting stuff, and they edit everything together. So they had the fighting scenes from Game of Death that they put in the movie. Now, I had begged and pleaded my parents to take me to see Game of Death when I was a youth. I had to make sure that my grades were good and everything else. And we went to the Rhodes Theater here in Chicago on the South Side to see this movie, and it sucked wind. It was the most god-awful movie, period. It hurts my heart because I was house surfing last week, and I've seen the movie over and over again, but it's still a bad damn movie. I mean, even watching it in real time when I was a kid, I'm like, they could have done a better editing job. And what they did was, if you've ever seen the movie Game of Death, you can't get it back. It's only good when you get to the end or towards the end when you actually see Bruce Lee in the yellow tracksuit actually fighting the opponents, including the great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But prior to that, they edited out other movies to put into the movie. It just sucked wind. It sucked and it swallowed. And it made no sense to even air it, but they did it. Why? Because of money and because of its popularity. But still, it's I know I can't get it back, but still, it hurts my heart right to this day as old man base to watch the Game of Death. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I mean, I'm like, post-traumatic stress disorder. I'm reliving it all over again. And out of all the body of work that Bruce Lee had done prior to that, is just the damnness of shame. The damnness of shame. I dare anybody. I put it like this: if you have not seen it, get it and get drunk first, and then please watch it when you're drunk. That's the only way it's going to make some sense, or you won't be as pissed as I am. I don't want to promote stuff like that, but seriously, if you smoke weed, or whatever, cannabis, whatever, you get high on your own supply, whatever it is, do that, drink or do both, and watch the game of death, and then
So good.
thank you, Helen Martin.
Yes,
Thank
you, Martin. So you say people need to do that in order to enjoy the game of death?
I mean, it breaks my heart because you look like this. When you watch the game of death, you'll pray for death. Mark my word.
Damn!
Holy smokes!
And you wonder why we love. And you wonder why we love having Chris Bass on the show each and every Friday.
He was not right.
That Chris Bass joins us every Friday at 35 Beyond, hour number 2. Oh, man. We got Mike Debate coming at the top of hour 3. But Chris, congratulations, Grandpapa. And I don't think I want to watch Game of Death. Because if that requires me to drink or smoke weed, then I'm in trouble because I'm already missing some organs. That won't help me. That won't help me process it correctly.
Game of Death, you will pray.
He
for
said,
death.
if you watch Game of Death, drink.
Yes.
Bass will do it again in 7 days. Thank you so much, my man.
Thank you so much, brother.
We appreciate your time.
And thank you so much. I appreciate all the time we have together. See you next week. Thank you so much. Happy Father's Day to everybody.
See you next week.
Happy Father's Day as well.
And happy Father's Day to you. He said, drink.
Ponder that as I play this.
Don't soil this program by putting crap on it. Joe Buck, I cannot take him. I just no dice. I'm glad Carlos Boozer finally took the kiwi off his face. It should be on your shoes, not your face. It's kiwi shoe polish, for God's sake. LeBron should come clean about his age. I wish baby Jesus that I had alcohol in this container because I need some after watching Screaming A. Smith.
Baby Jesus? Really?
6 pounds, 7 ounces. Go tell 5 of your friends and 8 of your enemies that Chris Bass will be in the air.
I enjoy when that man is on this show. Thank you again to Chris Bass. Oh my gosh. Never ceases to make me laugh.
He said, drink before watching.
And that's
said,
before he said,
drink.
And that's before he says, if you watch Game of Death, you will pray
If
for
you,
death.
yeah. If you watch death, you'll. Oh heavens! Can we get a few comments from the chat on the way before Mike Debate gets here? Oh my gosh!
Thank you, Andrew.
He
I
said,
appreciate that.
Thank
I
you,
love
Andrew.
that. I love that. That
He
is
said,
hilarious.
drink. Wait a minute. Snowman, you can always take a long dump like Johnny Witherspoon. Say you ain't got crap for that crap.
Oh my god.
Considering the way my body considering the way my body acted 1 month after surgery, I was saying that often at 2:00 in the morning. But we figured everything out. Sick Diggy says you can't start the weekend right without Chris Bass. That's the truth.
You most certainly cannot. Oh my god. Oh yeah, see.
All
To
right.
beat a man, whoa!
You
gotta
gotta
beat the man. And don't it?
And
I'm
I'm the man.
Woo! Oh yeah. Oh yes. Before we do go to the bumper for the 3rd hour announcement, there was a challenge I saw Sick in the 1st hour posed to me. I gotta find it. I'm gonna find it here, and
I think I know what it is.
I think you
I didn't
know
get
what
it.
it
I
is.
didn't get a chance to get to it.
Let me see. Where is it? I know. There we go. 6 says, I wonder if Cole can laugh like the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase. Well, to let you know.
Money, 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 money.
Everybody's got
a price.
Oh Lord.
Everybody's. You know what? To hell with that. Hold on a minute. We got 180 seconds. Hold on a minute.
Because the $1 Million Man always gets his way.
Hold on a minute. I think I found it.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me see if I can turn it. Hey, where'd it go? Oops, wrong one. Wrong volume.
Everybody's
There you go. It's $1 Million Man theme song.
$1 Million Man always gets his way.
There you go, Sick. That's for you. This is copyright WWF, WWE, Ted DiBiase, so we don't get a copyright strike. I just had to find it.
Some might cost a lot. But I'm the $1 Million
Man.
Finish it, and you will be bought. Hey, Sick, that's for you. Courtesy of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. And we roll into hour number 3, and it starts right now.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up?
Kelly's one-strike pitch. Swinging a fly ball, center field deep. Bellinger going back to the warning track, to the wall. It's a grand slam! Howie Kendrick has done it! They're going crazy in the Nationals dugout! Howie Kendrick with a grand slam here in the 10th inning of Game 5. The Nationals 7. The Dodgers 3. Do you believe it?
This is Snowman in the Morning. Snowman in the Morning.
This promises to be fun.
Can't wait.
Are you kidding me? Do you believe it? Do you believe it?
Dave Jagler bringing us into hour numero 3. And we hope you're enjoying it as we are falling off the rails again. Thank you to Chris, to Sam Shady, and Ben Sutter, who have joined us this morning. Mike Debate's scheduled to join us in a couple of minutes as we talk NFC West. And then we get to know Ivan Dawkins at the bottom of this hour. And then it's potluck. Yeah. Ivan Dawkins will join us each and every Friday. He'll be one of our NFL insiders, but we're going to get to know him today. And then it's potluck after Ivan Dawkins gets, after we're done with Ivan Dawkins, it's potluck for the remainder of the show. And we take you into your weekend. But before we get to the NFL, let's spend a little more time with the NBA World Championship. And perusing social media.
Really?
It was quiet.
Oh, I love it.
It was quiet because all these Curry haters, Snowman was perusing social media. Thanks for the cue. And there was something strange in perusing social media. What's that strange thing? It was quiet because all the Curry haters couldn't say a damn thing, including some of the comments I read this morning during a broad sexual confession. 3 titles with 3 different teams. Who cares? 4 titles with 1 team. I like that better.
What is the allure with having a guy who basically shows that he's a mercenary and wins championships on 3 different squads? Okay, so he's won with the Cavs, he won with the Heat, and he's won with the Lakers. What's the big
May I
draw to
answer
that?
that in two? May I answer that in 2 words?
Please, sir.
Please.
Please, sir.
Who cares?
Oh, no.
Matter of fact,
better yet.
I know where you're going. Go with it.
I love having the excuse of using that one.
That. I love you, Cole Johnson, for that. Because no one gives a rat's ass about one guy winning 3 titles with 3 different teams. It just showed that he's loyal to himself. And I forgot to invoke Colin Cowherd during my Bron sexual confession. Everybody has to capitulate to LeBron. Steph, Clay, and Draymond capitulate to the team.
And when you say everybody, it's not just the players or the coaching staff either.
No, it's not just the players. It's the management. It's the people in charge.
And since he's gotten away with it so much, that's why he now uses the tool of, well, I won't extend my time with the team unless I am satisfied with how you all
He's holding them hostage.
And he holds them
again.
hostage.
He did it to the Cavs twice. He did it to the Heat. Now he's doing it to the Lakers. More on that during the 4th hour.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to bring on our senior NFL advisor, now in his 5th season with the show. This is Mike Debate, and he joins us right now. Good morning, Mike. How are you?
Good morning, Brian. Always my honor and pleasure. Cole, good morning. Love spending Friday mornings with you guys. This is always great.
The feeling is 100%.
And we love spending Friday mornings with you. NFC West is our division this year. And I begin with this statement, and I know Mike's going to back me up, and I know Cole's going to back me up. Yes, the Rams are the world champions. Yes, they should be the team to beat in the West Division. But I'm sorry. I can't say that unequivocally because there's a team in Northern California that's plain mad and still not getting the respect they deserve for all they went through last year, coming within a couple, starting 3-5, finishing 10-7, coming within an eyelash of another trip to the Super Bowl. And y'all know who that team is. That's the San Francisco 49ers. And as sure as I'm sitting here with everything that's going on, including them excusing Jimmy Garoppolo, and I put that in quotes, for the rest of mandatory minicamp, and I believe it was due to an injury and not because he's getting traded, because I don't think he is. San Francisco, to me, because of their running game and their running game alone, is the team to beat in the NFC West.
Yeah, I think you'd be hard-pressed to be told that you're incorrect on that, Brian. I happen to agree with you. And for not just reasons that related to the San Francisco 49ers running game, which I happen to think is one of the top in the league, but then you look at what Kyle Shanahan has done with the complementary pieces, the skill position pieces that are there to be able to make life easier for either Trey Lance or Jimmy Garoppolo, whoever is taking snaps under center in San Francisco. George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Kyle Juszczyk. Those 4 guys combined will give defenses headaches all day long because you're talking about pass catchers and guys that can catch the ball out of the backfield, make moves on the jet sweep, be complementary pieces to that already potent running game. San Francisco, to me, is just loaded. I think they've got a lot of different areas that they can beat you. We haven't even mentioned defensively how good this team can be. I'm with you on this one. That's taking no disrespect or nothing away from the LA Rams, who are going to be right up there contending for the top spot in the conference. But to say that it's going to be a runaway and to say that the San Francisco 49ers can't challenge or eclipse them, I think is doing them a disservice.
It is doing them a disservice.
My number one problem with the Rams is how are they going to manage their running game? yes, it's fine. Yes, it's great that Stafford has the chemistry with Cup, and yes, they have other weapons where they can pass. But to me, if you got enough tape on them to know that they're just going to wing the ball and they don't care, eventually you're going to have enough teams that's going to defend that properly and stop it. Especially if you have two of those three teams in the same division who probably can do that. So to me, it's they need to find a running game. I don't like it. I know Cam Akers is coming back from injury, and that might help, but I don't think it's the backs to me as much as it's the philosophy. And Sean McVay loves to air it out a little too much for my liking, and I think that more than anything is going to come back and bite the Rams.
And it's going to bite the other teams in this division. I go to Arizona, and Mike, you and I agree on this also with Arizona. You don't know what you're getting with that Arizona offense. Part one. Part two, you don't know what you're getting with Kyler Murray. And now there's a chance that Kyler Murray could hold out for a contract. And I know a lot of Cardinal fans are going to be upset with me when I say this, but he's holding out for a contract he hasn't earned or he doesn't deserve. Because to me, when I look at this Arizona Cardinal offense, Kyler Murray, to a point, fits the offense. But if you look at that playoff game against the Rams and how they backed into the playoffs, where was Kyler Murray when you needed him?
Great question. And that's the question that Arizona has to answer. Look, there's no question about it. This was one of the most exciting teams in 2021. They jump out to that 10-2 record, MVP level performance up till that certain point for Kyler Murray. People were really looking at Arizona as a potential Super Bowl contender at that point. Things started to fall apart after that Week 14 loss to the Rams, but the 1-4 record to close out the regular season, I think, really, you can go back to the Green Bay Packers loss. Murray goes down, injury, that really kind of decimated this team a little bit. It's going to be up to Cliff Kingsbury to kind of bring them out of it and really kind of bring them along and show them the potential and the prowess that they have. Now, they've had some key losses in the offseason as well. They're going to have to account for the loss of Chandler Jones in that defense. Chandler is still very capable of disrupting, making things happen, one of the more formidable pass rushers in the NFL. I know from my years covering him in New England that guy is as good as they come when it comes to that. So that's going to be a void. But how is Kyler going to be able to respond to the weapons he has on this side of the ball? Marquise Brown, someone he knows very well from their days together in college, is now in the fold there. Can he incorporate them? If he can, and Arizona can account for some of the losses that they've had, they can be in the mix. But there's an awful lot of question marks. And I agree with you, Brian. I think there's a lot on his shoulders. To me, everything about the Arizona Cardinals season is going to be what he's capable of doing with what he has. And if there's not that level of elevation that you want to see down the stretch, which is when the good quarterbacks play their best football of the year, then you're looking at potential problems in Arizona. And they face a tough division with San Francisco and Los Angeles in the mix as well.
And the other thing about Arizona, their defense, what is their defensive identity? As you mentioned, Mike, 1-4 down the stretch, and they backed into the playoffs. They backed in with a lot of injury, and they get mauled in Los Angeles in that wild card game.
Yeah.
Do the Cardinals
the fact that Deion wasn't available? Yeah.
Right. And minus DeAndre Hopkins. Thank you, Chris Dietz, for that point. But defensively is where more of the question marks lie. I think there's more question marks defensively than offensively, Mike. I mean, where is the identity defensively for this Arizona Cardinal ball club?
Yeah, that's a big question. And ultimately what they have to do is they have to determine, are they going to be a team that's going to be predicated on secondary, trying to keep the ball away, be a team that's very difficult to defend? Do they go to more of a zone look? Do they want to be front seven heavy? Like I said, they're missing a little bit in that regard this year. They really do have to develop that type of identity down the stretch. The good teams, the teams that are in contention, always do that. They figure it out mid-season, and by the time Thanksgiving comes around, they're clicking on all cylinders and they're ready to make a run. They If Arizona wants to be taken seriously, they need to do that. Obviously, as Cole pointed out with Hopkins, there were injuries last year that prevented them from maybe reaching their full potential. But that being said, you still have to do it on the field. No matter the personnel that you have out there, you have to get the job done. Arizona didn't last year. It's why they were on the outside looking in. Does that change this year? We'll see. I think the jury's still out on that.
In my opinion, their defensive identity left and went with Chandler Jones.
Yeah.
Agreed. Now to Seattle as we wrap up our NFC West division. I'll make this statement before we go to the Seahawks. There are not one but two coaches that are on the hot seat, and they're both in the NFC West. Cliff Kingsbury is one, the other is Pete Carroll. And from the way the offseason has gone for the Seahawks, Pete Carroll, I believe, and I'll begin with Mike, Pete Carroll has waved the white flag.
Well, more than Pete Carroll.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to think that it isn't the case. I mean, you move on from Russell Wilson. Obviously, I know there were extenuating circumstances there, and you know what? That's a conversation for another day. We could probably fill 2 hours just on that subject alone, gentlemen. But
yeah, we can.
Drew Lock
we can.
Drew Lock coming into this team. I mean, he's got capable playmakers around him, and he is playing his best football since he was a rookie. So if you want to try to build on a little bit of optimism, if you're a Seahawks fan, that's what you're hanging your hat on right now. You're saying maybe a change of scenery, maybe a little bit of boost of confidence, some pretty good players around him. Maybe Drew Lock can help make things interesting. But, you know, he's joining a roster that has dramatically deteriorated in recent years. You know, I think Seattle's best option right now is to go through the season, really hit the draft hard, get a strong selection in 2023. They're going to end up, I think, using that to select their quarterback of the future. But they're, at best, they're probably an also-ran middle-of-the-road team, and that's probably being generous. And I'm trying to be generous and optimistic this morning for Seahawks fans because I do happen to interact with them on a regular basis. I don't know if it's a Super Bowl 49 hangover or whatever, but it's to me, I think that really is the best way to go about looking at this team right now. I think it's tough to envision them being able to contend in this division when you've got Arizona that can be a formidable team as well. And then I think the two top teams in the echelon, the Rams and the San Francisco 49ers, I just don't see the Seahawks being able to hang around this year. It's going to be a long year in the Pacific Northwest.
It is going to be a long year in the Pacific Northwest. That's our preview of the NFC West. Mike Debate joins us every Friday all the way through the Super Bowl and takes us into the offseason where we are right now and see which team is going to do what as we continue our division previews. We go to the North next Friday. Thank you, Mike. Always a pleasure. I love you. Love having you on. Thank you again.
Brian, likewise. Absolutely. Always love being on. Love you too, Cole. Always an honor. Always a pleasure. Can't wait to do this again next week and talk a little more football with you guys. Have a great weekend, gentlemen.
You too, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you so much. Dietz had a point in the chat. The Arizona defense revolves around Buddha, as in Buddha Baker. Yeah, he's right. He's right about that. And that's about the only defensive weapon that they have right now. Take a break, and when we come back, I want Cole Johnson to go in on the Curry slander, and I'm just going to stand back and watch the fun. This is Snowman in the Morning, hour number 3, as we come to you live on BS3 TV as well as YouTube, and then live on audio, the SDM Sports Network, Real Wise Radio, 4-Star Media, and SDM Sports, and 24 hours a day on officialsitmorn.com. Back in a flash.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
Baby, you see, you're so right for me, and I'm right for you. I love the things you do, like sweet tasting wine. Your lips are so divine. Your loving turns me on. My lonely days are gone. That's why I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go. Babe, I'm never gonna let you go. No, no, never gonna let you go. Baby, never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Never gonna let you go.
Hey guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just,
Only you can prevent wildfires.
like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Well, Dr. K, you do it at official SIT more than the official SIT more. And as you can see, my partner has a reason to beam when he hears that wonderful voice. That is the wife of my partner, Snowman. I am Cole Johnson. And we are at hour number 3.
There's my championship ring. Right there. There's my championship ring.
That's the best championship ring you can have.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I made a promise before we went to break.
Mm-hmm.
Would you do the honors, please?
All right. You asked for it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Here we go.
It's time to go.
Congratulations.
And all I have to say to my partner, and all I have to say to my partner is one word: cook.
Oh, Lord. So you see, he asked for it. And you asked for this too, Brownsexuals. Here we go. Let me officially say congratulations to the Golden State Warriors on winning their 4th championship in eight years and their 6th overall in their franchise. I am actually happy to see it. It's great to see success that has been proven and time again happen to take place, even if it's a team that isn't affiliated with my own rooting interests. Because I'll be completely blunt. I never rooted for the Warriors at all because I had no reason to root for them. My team is the Rockets. So for me to say congratulations to the Warriors, some of it does come with pain because I witnessed this very same team beat my Rockets 4 times out of 5 years. 2015 in the conference finals, 2016 in the first round, 2018 in the conference finals, and 2019 in the conference semifinals. I have seen them beat the Rockets so many different ways that it is painful in terms of, well, I wish my team can do it. So when I say congratulations to the Warriors and congratulations to Curry and Clay and Draymond and Steve Kerr and Kuminga and Looney and Wiggins and Poole and all of the Warriors, front office players and staff, I say this not as a fan. Unlike my partner, and I'm not saying this to clown him, I'm actually saying this because this is coming from a different perspective. He has a really good interest in the Warriors. I don't. I simply just want to see excellence executed. And what we saw, not just last night, but in this series, and in many stretches, all playoffs long, was excellence executed. Like Bret Hart. The Warriors are basically Bret Hart. They are the excellence of execution. That is what they are. That is what they've been for the last 7 years, 8 years, I'm sorry. And that's what they're going to continue to be because they're younger now than they were even in 2015. That's the scary part about this. Now, I'm so glad that I actually have the ability to do this because you see, many of you bronzesexuals and non-Curry fans, you all have been so wrapped up in prisoner of the moment. Takes is not even funny. Like one take here. Quote, Ime Udoka is out coaching Steve Kerr. Close quote.
Hell.
I mean, ridiculous takes such as quote, Curry 9-1 with Durant, 8-11 before we got to the finals. Without him. Close quote.
Oh, dear God.
Text such as, quote, Curry is a front runner. When the game is close and late, he disappears. But when he is up, he is dangerous. So he is not clutch. Close quote.
That's a lie, and that's a lot of bull.
And another prism of the moment takes such as, quote, Draymond Green is not a Hall of Famer. Close quote. What? Now, I would take all these points and just break it down one by one. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to lump it all. I'm going to lump it all in one big ball because I'm going to tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Please do it.
You bronzesexuals, you non-Curry fans, and you Warriors haters, you dislike this team because most of you have a yellow skin bias. And when I mean bias, I don't mean you love them. I mean you hate them. You hate them because they don't look the part. You hate them because they don't sound the part. You hate them because they don't have the upbringings that you have. Like Clay, he had a father who played in the league, same as Steph. And Clay, just like Steph, lighting the skin. And Clay, just like Steph,
Mhm.
shows some athletic ability, but it's not about the dunks. It's about the proficiency from deep and the fact that they can cut to the hole at a moment's notice. You all don't want that. You all want to have ankles broken. You all want to have people take defenders off the dribble. You want to have dunks, and you want to have them be on Sports Center every single waking second, so you can say, "That's my boy. That is a hooper right there." You want that more than you want to have a champion. You want to have the individual stand out like a sore thumb rather than a team that is centered around so many different beautiful parts that you have to appreciate all of them for whatever the individual can bring to the table. Because this is not the first time we have heard issues such as, well, you have a team that plays the way that they do and win, but they're boring. You have a team that plays together, but they don't have that athlete that gravitates me toward them. You know, they are successful, but they don't do it like this team.
Lies. All lies.
Well, actually, not really, because when you have the Celtics, who they have two guys who they sort of fit the role of what these fools want, that they can individually take over a game, because that serves the purpose and the narrative of, well, Stephen Curry can't take over a game because he is not that type of player. Now that's a lie.
Lies.
Because he is that type of player. And you only did this because he did not win an Finals MVP until last night. And it is all hinged because you all
Say it. Go with it. Go with it.
See, this is why I show you all this, because I want to show you all the idiocy that is what your fan base is, or the hatred of it is, because you all come with blasphemous takes, like Giannis losing by 30 in a game 7. KD getting swept the first round, and Embiid choking in front of a home crowd, Jokic being bounced in the first round, and Steph being carried all playoffs long. Because, ladies and gentlemen, LeBron James looking like the game on a mixtape is still the best basketball player in the world. Read the 3 letters on top of it, because all of that is blasphemous. Just because Stephen Curry doesn't have the skin color that's dark, just because he doesn't sound as though he comes from the hood, and just because he actually sounds as though he's intellectually sound, and he has 2 girls and a boy, and that he has a wife who loves him, who also is light-skinned, does not give you the reason to hate on him. But the funny thing is, your hate is hypocritical, because you all would say, I want to have Sonya's juice box every chance you get, and she's just as light-skinned as Ayesha is.
Oops.
So you all can miss me with your hypocritical hate of Stephen Curry because he can't dunk. He can, but he just doesn't do it in the game. You can hate him because he has the proficiency from 3. And you can hate him because he has, in the LeBron James era, the same amount of rings in less time than LeBron.
Everybody is in the LeBron era.
What you have to face, Curry hater, is that you're dealing with an individual who looks at you and doesn't give a crap about what you think. Because it's like what, you know what, Dwayne, help me out with this.
You know your damn role and shut your damn mouth.
That's what he does to your noise. He tunes you out. He plays his game. He shows up for his family. He shows up for his teammates. He shows up for his organization, and he shows up for the Bay Area. and he looks like the champion that he's so rightfully supposed to look like. So you can come at me and say, well, you sound like you're a Curry fan. Yeah, I like the guy. But I like the guy for the competitor he is. Not because his skin is light and not because he has great grammar, although that helps. I like the guy because he is what I want to see a basketball player be. And that is one who works at his craft endlessly. And when you think that he can't get any better, he works on it some more. But you're all happy with a one-trick pony and a bull in the china shop, aren't you? Because that's what all of you idiots are. One-trick ponies and bulls in china shops.
Bam.
I'm through with these idiots. I'm through with them.
It's time to go.
Let's move on.
From addressing idiots to getting to know somebody that I've actually gotten a chance to really like very well. Let's bring him on, shall we? The king in the Queen 3 and King podcast and part of the BS3 Network family. Ladies and gentlemen, it is our pleasure to bring aboard in this Getting to Know segment one, Ivan King Dawkins.
I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration of sports knowledge in the history of our nation. 50 minutes ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand, BS3, Ben Sutter III, came on this station. The only reason I'm here, I'm just telling you, the only reason I'm here is because I need to show Ben how to do radio. That's the point. What's going on, gentlemen? It's a cold world, boy.
Oh, Lord, King coming out with the fire already.
What's up, gentlemen?
He's dropping bombs already.
Dropping bombs,
Man,
like
tell
Martin
us how
Luther
you
King and capping on Ben.
Yes.
Oh, my.
yes. Oh my God. Hey, if we have fun with these two individually, imagine what's going to happen on a Friday morning when we.
Oh yeah.
Holy cow!
Hey, I was thinking the same thing with Chris Bass on Fridays, Ben on Fridays, me on Fridays. Oh, this Friday finna. Hey, I get ready, Marconi. You listening to us?
Tell us how you got the King 3 and Queen podcast started.
Well, I had just like this. I had made guest appearances on several podcasts, and invariably, you know, some of those hosts would come to me after the show and said, "Hey, you need to get your own podcast." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, I have some interest in that, but you know, got a lot of things going on, so not really going that direction yet." Well, Ben asked me to come on his show and do a movie review of One Night in Miami. Right, the movie about Muhammad Ali and he was Cassius Clay at the time, it's Sam Cooke and I forget the is that still my tongue? Not Dr. Clean, Malcolm X, and their relationship the night that Ali first became heavyweight champion. And so we did really well there and had great chemistry. So we came back for another week to make sure it wasn't a fluke. It was not a fluke. The forecast was born. And then I just started my own show, Queen 3 and King, and figured I'd make it a family affair and bring my sisters on. And the rest is history. And again, doing this is great fun. I love sharing my energy with the masses and trying to make folks laugh. If I can make you laugh, that's the first objective. And if I can give you one nugget of knowledge to take with you, that's my number 2 objective.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Well, you made us laugh this morning, coming out doing the civil rights preacher thing and just getting everything going.
It's Juneteenth this weekend. I
Ivan
had to
Dawkins.
give him some civil rights.
Yes, it is. And
I was about to climb into my Curtis Mayfield
gonna
bag.
be off the charts.
People get ready. There's a train coming.
Man,
I was about to go there.
I love it, man.
You went there, and that's not a bad thing. Juneteenth is indeed this weekend. We're getting to know Ivan Dawkins as we take you into your weekend. Man, I asked you to be one of my NFL insiders, and I'm probably going to hate this question, but I'll go ahead and ask anyway. Which team do you follow?
America's team, and I don't have to go any further than that. You already know what that means.
Man, I hate the fact that you rep the Patriots, man. No, don't rep the Patriots.
The incomparable Dallas Cowboys, your Dallas Cowboys. Hey, just like Tupac said, the end you love to hate. The Cowboys is the team you love to hate, baby.
Oh Lord!
But it's important to know.
Actually, for me, that would be not only them. That would be the New England. But I got more on that. I got more on that front. But
yeah,
who's your favorite? Who's your favorite Cowboy of all time? Or who are your 5 favorite Cowboys of all time?
Tony Dorsett, number 1.
One of my favorites.
Okay. Number 33.
33. The original number 88, and Drew Pearson.
Drew Pearson. All right.
Drew Pearson.
I gotta give Roger Dodger. I gotta give him credit. Roger Staubach for certain. Ed Tall Jones.
Man, his name
number 72.
Number 2.
And reluctantly, because I like this play on the field, I've always been a running back guy, which is why your Roger Craig opinion, Snowman, I'm all over the original thousand guy. So I'm a running back guy. So Emmitt Smith is in my top 5 as well. Again, around the Dallas area.
I got to show a couple of Cowboys some love of my own, because besides Emmitt and Troy and that you named, I absolutely adored one Daryl Johnston, the Moose.
I got you.
I'm into fullbacks. 2 tight ends that wore Cowboy uniforms and both wore number 84, Doug Cosby and blanking on him, Jay Novacek.
Jay Novacek, yeah. Yeah, those are some good choices. Yeah, those are lunch pail guys, right? Those are lunch pail guys who did the dirty work. All of them. They weren't flashy. They didn't need a lot of pub. They just went about their business. And again, Emmitt Smith will tell you there's no Emmitt Smith without Daryl Johnston. In fact, if you get Emmitt talking about Daryl Moose Johnston, he's gonna get teary-eyed every time. Every time.
Yeah.
And something, when I watched Emmitt Smith's Hall of Fame speech, and he spoke of Moose, not to get teary-eyed, but so did I. As much as I love the rivalry between your Cowboys and my 49ers, and remember, the Cowboys and the 49ers, that rivalry ruled the 1990s. Because he was either Troy Aikman or Steve Young the first 5 years that were in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I got teary-eyed when he spoke of Moose, because that's a teammate that you go to war with. That 90s team, that 90s Cowboys team, as much as my fandom hates them, I respect the hell out of them because of the way they were, and we said it about the Warriors, built.
Right.
They built the hell out of that team, just like Tom Landry did. And I thought I was going to be as tall as Ed Too Tall Jones. Didn't get there, but Too Tall was.
You came close though.
I had fun. Ed Too Tall Jones was one of the guys I loved watching. And you mentioned Tony Dorsett. There is no Dallas Cowboys without number 33. how to dapper down on a Monday night game half. That run alone endeared me to Tony Dorsett.
Oh yeah, Monday Night Football against Minnesota
right.
Vikings. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
99. Yeah,
I think, yeah.
Against the Minnesota in the Metrodome. That's how you silence. That's how you silence 60,000 people. When you think you have it, and they just give it to, Tony Dorsett. He stays in bounds. Howard Cosell couldn't believe it, and that's how you silence 60,000 people. And Chris Dietz has a great comment. Who is this they you speak of? You mean Jimmy Johnson built the Cowboys of the 90s? You know what? You are correct.
You're correct,
You're,
but you see,
you're absolutely correct.
You're correct here, but
He
I want
built
to
the
address
Cowboys.
I want to address the blasphemy that has been put on our airwaves when he said another Cowboys insider on the show. That's 3 on this show. Of course, he's another one. Of course, Ivan along with Ben. He says, just again showing the Cowboys rule the NFL world.
Right. Word up.
No. They do not rule the NFL
No, they don't.
world.
No, they don't.
Because and they're not America's team because America does not like mediocrity. I keep telling you this. They do not like mediocrity. It's been 26 years.
This is the only
they have sniffed the NFC Championship game, let alone the Super Bowl. They are mediocre. Why would
hell no? No. Hell to the no.
To the yes. To the yes. They are mediocre.
Wait. Ivan, I got one up. I got one up on you. And I got one up on you, Ivan. Here's the comment from Chris Dietz. Who's there you speak of? You mean Jimmy Johnson beat the Cowboys in the 90s? All true. He made all the moves. He made every single move, especially that offense. I love the offensive line. From the 90s. I love that offensive line. Tuiné, Newton, first step Noski, and then Derek Kennard, and then Larry Allen, right tackle.
Eric Williams. They had some nasty folks in on their front.
Nasty.
I will say this:
nasty offensive
the early 90s Cowboys, early to mid 90s Cowboys offensive line, best offensive line I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But see, you got teams, and we talked about this earlier show. There were a few teams in the 80s and 90s that put together Super Bowl runs and were on the verge of a dynastic run before the Cowboys took it over in the 90s. That, of course, was the 49ers in the 80s. And then the Giants showed up for a little bit, and then the Washington Redskins showed up for a couple of years. What people don't realize is that in the 80s and 90s, it was competitive to try to get on top of the mountain. It was quite competitive. Especially, it was quite competitive to get on top of the mountain. I got one up on Ivan because he wants to say that the Cowboys are America's team. Riddle me this. How scared of y'all were of Samuel?
Of Debo's? I was. See, let me say this. First of all, that's a great question because it allows me to digress just a touch, right? so basically, this is a getting to know Ivan segment, right? King Dog. So the masses need to know. I'm not your normal insider, okay? Snowman is already, and Snowman in the Morning and Cole Johnson are already very competent with the insiders they have here, right? Some downright professional cats, smooth cats, okay? So that's not me. I take more of a practical approach, right? Laced in humor, right?
Is it practical or personal?
Both, right?
There you go.
So I am a part of a couple of Cowboys forums and groups and whatnot. And so I posted the Thursday before the game against San Francisco to say, and I said, we are in trouble. And I talked specifically about Debo Samuel. Okay, and I told them, I said, we don't have anybody that can cover him. I said, we haven't seen the likes of this. And they're like, San Francisco isn't that good and this and that. And they were wanting to put me out of the group. And they started talking things in terms of that I really hate to hear. They're like, you're not a real fan. You know, and I'm like, come on. That's like saying when somebody says, well, you're a real man if you this, or you're not a real man if you do this, or you're not a real man because of this. And I'm like, oh, because I'm practical and sensible about my team and I know their deficiencies, that does not make me not a real fan. I'm sorry. I am very much a real fan. I'm just practical.
You actually make sense with your arguments. Because I had when I was working at a local hotel here and that game popped up on Sunday, I had fans in the hotel in cowboy garb. I'm the only 49er fan in the house.
Yeah.
I'm the only 49er fan in the house. And I snuck away from the desk. Someone covered me. We watched that first drive, and all I did was turn to those Cowboy fans and smile and walked off.
That's all you had to do.
Because they had that look of, we're in trouble. And I go back to a conversation that Michael Irvin had, Hall of Famer Michael Irvin had with a soon-to-be Hall of Famer in Rich Eisen. And Rich Eisen posed the question, I think the question he posed, are you scared of this matchup? And Michael, I'll never forget what Michael Irvin said when he said, quote, worst matchup we could draw in the wild card round.
I remember him saying that. Yeah, and he was correct.
And Ivan, you know this, it's a team that runs downhill, just like the Cowboys used to do in the 90s with their offensive line and the jet that you get rid of the sweeps, you put Debo Samuel in the backfield. They talked for 5 minutes without even getting to Debo.
Right.
I mean, because Elijah Mitchell can tote the rock. Elijah Mitchell nearly had 1,000 yards season.
Right.
Okay. So I love the fact that when leaders come on, they're practical just like you, and they speak the truth. Mike Debate joins at the top of every third hour on Friday. And that first drive, that first drive should have scared every Cowboy fan in the joint. 93,000 plus on that side.
If they were reasonable, they should have been scared the Thursday when I told them to be scared. But see, the problem is it was a strength, the 49ers run game, against a weakness, which is the Cowboys run defense. That don't add up.
Yeah.
You know, it ain't gonna work out for you, you know, because when you run the ball, you got clock management, so you're gonna keep that lethal offense off the field. It was a bad matchup from Jump Street.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was. Cole and I talked about it with Mike. Cole and I talked about it with Mike, and we did our picks. We all picked San Francisco to win, and the reason we based it was on that running game. Yeah. When you hold the ball, and I refer to the Giants against the Buffalo Bills in Super Bowl 25. When you hold the ball for 40 minutes,
even against a explosive offense like the Bills,
when you hold the ball for 30 to 40 minutes, it doesn't make a difference how lethal your offense is. Sick Diggy with a great comment. Ivan is like George Carlin. His mind has a funny little thing called, and he spelled this in capital letters, logic.
All right.
This is what the fanalists don't have. I've said it since I started this show 8 years ago. I'm going to continue to say it. There is no logic with some of these fans.
Right.
When the 49ers won, I had a fan come down and he pulled me aside and he said, "Look, I'll buy you a beer for the victory." I turned him down. I said, "You don't have to buy me a beer, but some chicken would be nice." You know, this guy raced out. This guy ran out, came back with a bag about yay big.
Wow.
I said, "What the hell?" And he said, "Congrats on the victory."
Wow.
Do you know what took me because of the fact I had a cancer tumor inside me at the time? Do you know it took me 2 days to eat that chicken?
Meanwhile, Yeah. Meanwhile, I bet
It took me 2 days.
Go ahead.
Took me 2 days to eat that chicken. And my wife said, "Where'd this come from?" A Cowboy fan that lost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
And you know the funny part? I didn't even bet him.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I get a bet from a Cowboys fan. Next team that scores a point buys the other either beer or wings. I'm still waiting for them wings.
Wow. Just before we go, I'm not sure what kind of time we got today, Snowman, but before we go, you just make sure you give me an opportunity. I have a bone to pick with Snowman in the Morning featuring Cole Johnson. So just make sure before we go, I can expose this bone.
Okay, no. Expose it now.
All right.
Expose it now.
This has to do with number 23. I don't even like saying his name. No, not that one. I love saying his name. The other number 23 that I don't like saying his name.
Talking about he's talking about the false 23. Yeah, he's talking about the false prophet.
Right.
And I love
on
it. About the false prophet.
On our BS3 network chat.
Yes, sir.
I coined, I think, because I've never heard him before. I coined 2 LeBron James terms that y'all did not give me proper credit for. And those were bronze gender and bronze curious. Right. So when you have people who are not bronze sexuals, but they're bronze gender or bronze curious, we got to start adding these to our list of initials here.
I'm sorry. I
will respond to that. There's only one term we use, and that's bronze sexuals. That covers everybody.
I'm sorry. When I see them fools going,
that covers it.
Bronze sexuals.
All right, we're headed toward hour 4. We've gotten a chance to know Ivan Dawkins. He's going to join us every week to talk some football, and maybe some other sports. We're gonna have every Friday at 35 past 10 o'clock.
Awesome.
Ivan, we love you. Thank you so much for coming on. Can't wait to do it.
Likewise. I enjoyed it, fellas. Look forward to these Fridays this year.
Same, brother.
All right.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
Oh my gosh.
Ivan
There's
Dawkins.
only one term, and that's bronze sexuals. That covers everybody. Let's take 4 minutes and go to a break, and then Cole will choose the opening for hour number 4. It's a potluck hour, and we got a lot in the chat. Let's say good morning real quick to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. That's our boy Wise El Jefe. Thank you. Thank you, Chris Dietz, for joining us, Dick Diggy, and everybody. All right, let's take 4 minutes. We're headed to the top of hour 4. It begins after this break. This is Snowman in the Morning, live on BS3 TV as well as YouTube and the SDN Sports Network, SDN Sports Radio, Real Wise Radio, and 24 hours a day at official sitmorn.com. Oh, and I owe y'all a 100 days update. We'll do that after the break also. To the break.
Get off Yo King's nuts.
Please.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up?
First and 10. Luck steps up, fires towards the end zone. One-handed catch! Mo Alley Cox!
This is Snowman in the morning.
Hey, this promises to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait! Are you kidding me? Do you believe it?
Here we are in the final hour of Snowman, No One with Cole Johnson with Brian Snow. I am Cole Johnson, and we are so thankful for all of you here who have joined us in the chat, who are watching, who are listening. It is because of you that we exist, and many thanks to Ivan Dawkins. That's a brother that we have been talking offline for a good while now, and just a good brother, just great energy, and just proves you to why. Yeah,
I knew bringing him aboard would be a boon to this show, and
yes, great,
just having
choice.
fun. This is what we do. We have fun with everybody in the chat, everybody that watches, and I'm proud to announce the viewing numbers on YouTube have gone up.
Yeah,
they've gone up. And you want to be part of, let's do some housekeeping here. I'll trust you with the graphics. You want to be part of the throng? All you have to do is go to youtube.com/c/snowman in the morning 50. Snowman in the morning 50 is the ID that you need. Want to learn everything about the show? The new website, which I will be knee deep in working on this weekend, is officialsitmorn.com. That's officialsitmorn.com. I will be putting up items from the shop that will be ready this weekend, including a Yeti cup that I'm going to order for myself to get some more product placement. I'm working on getting a mic flag and a new mic set and everything. And we're working on getting a new set. Working on getting a new set. Working on getting some new equipment and faster process. And thank you to Google Chrome. It rescued me this morning. I've eliminated the other browsers. Everything just has worked so smoothly, and I can't thank enough for all the suggestions and getting everything together. And thank you, Cole, for helping in that process. I owe you a bunch. For getting this together. 6 minutes after hour number 4. And since this is a potluck hour, I'm gonna need to cook again.
Well, before you cook again, You did promise this on this side of the break.
did.
So why don't we give it to him right now?
Let's.
Charging ahead to the 100 Days of Carolina campaign, and with more on what that campaign is about, I will turn it over to my partner.
Oh, man. What this campaign is about is, first and foremost, about the woman I married. Her name's Jody. She's done so much for me. And the other thing that this is about is me beating cancer, getting healthy, and getting us back home. The scroll you see at the bottom of the screen is how you can help us. And I've explained this before, but I will explain it again. Our goal is $60,000 to be raised in the next 3 months so we can go home, find a place to settle, get everything situated. Wife wants a garden. I want a garden. We just want to be in a peaceful spot where we can do us. You know, I've had so many people tell me all the time, you do you. Fine. I want us to do us. And $60,000 is the goal. And that's for everything, moving costs, contingency plans, everything. Because what I'm doing is I'm getting physical therapy twice a week, and then I'm training myself twice a week. I'm learning to do push-ups again. I'm learning to do sit-ups again, doing them 2, 3, 4 at a time, just to get myself stronger. And I know Cole will be pleased with that. Being in the service, I'm doing this old school. Even if I just start with one, that will get me stronger, and that will help get us home. But if you can find it in your heart, please, please, please donate to either paypal.me/snowman2172, patreon.com/SIT morning, or hit the GoFundMe, gofund.me//A0B1DA45. That's how you can help us. That's how you can help us reach our goal, and that's 100 Days to Carolina.
And now I will roll that beautiful bean footage.
In a world where partial greatness is celebrated and total greatness is shunned, there stands to be a figure on the lips of those who love him and those who hate him. The inane comparisons to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant continue. The inane and has existed since 2003. Bryant continued. There is no end in sight. Has existed for the battle between those who unconditionally love and unconditionally hate him. For the battle between those who unconditionally love. These are their stories. And unconditionally hate him. Wait is on to the Bronzexual Confessions.
Partial greatness celebrated, total greatness shunned. Last night, in many ways, total greatness was shunned by a lot of you bronzexuals, and you couldn't talk about it because you had his member in your mouth. Again.
Wow.
I actually saw a couple of posts on Facebook that said LeBron's coming back next year and the Lakers will win the title. Stop telling lies, please. As I was perusing social media, I saw that piece of grade A homogenized Holstein undercover rotten bullshit under the surface.
Lord have mercy.
I'm getting too old for this.
Exactly. Have mercy on me, about to say. Your king is finished. You okay? Okay, I will go from. Let me start from the top here.
Their Kang is finished? Well, before you do, you said their Kang is
I'm going to
finished.
start from the top.
Okay. Well, before you do, their Kang is finished. All right.
Damn!
Okay.
All right. Well, then let us start from the top. Why is their Kang finished?
Because Yo Kang is a fraud. You didn't hear what I said? Give me Cole, give me a what, please?
You said he's a fraud?
What?
Fraud in capital letters. Just like Aaron Rodgers against the 49ers.
What?
Just like the Cowboys against the 49ers. Sorry, Evan. Yo Kang, Bronzexuals, is a fraud.
What?
Yo Kang is toast.
What?
Yo Kang is finito.
What?
Oh, you want me to translate that for you? What? How about this? Yo Kang is finished.
What?
Done.
What?
Cooked.
What?
Bottom of the damn barrel.
What?
Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of people that will look at me with a side eye and say, why are you saying all that about LeBron?
What?
It's pretty simple. As I reveal the shirt that I've been wearing today, LeBron is trying to be Superman, and he's not even Robin.
LeBron's trying to. Wait, hold on. LeBron is Superman.
Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no, no, no. Listen.
LeBron, Superman.
Sexuals think. These bronzexuals think LeBron is Superman. And on top of that, they think that because he's won 3 titles with 3 different franchises, that he's the greatest player of all time.
Bitch, please.
Okay. Then riddle me this. How come LeBron doesn't 3-point closeout game in the finals? Meanwhile, the fellow who earned unanimous finals MVP last evening has not 1, not 2, but 3 of them. And by the way, the ghost that he's supposedly chasing, he's got 5 of them. The first one came in 1991. And you know the crazy part about that game? He wasn't the high scorer. Scottie Pippen was. Scottie Pippen had 32 points. MJ had 30. But it was 30 points in a closeout game. And Steph now has 3 of them. 17, 18, and 22. And what happened with those 3 games? World championships. And you know the greatest part about total great and shunned, especially when it comes to Wardell Stephen Curry II, he's not done. Meanwhile, Yo Kang is about as fried as a piece of chicken. If he expects to be back in the winner's circle next year, no. No, and I repeat, no. Ain't happening. Because, as I mentioned at the top of this, Yo Kang is a fraud. I understand ring chasing, but why don't you trust your teammates? Riddle me that, Batman. Why don't you trust the people that are on your team? Understanding you're a great athlete. Yes, I said athlete. I didn't say great basketball player because he's not. Never has been, never will be. Stephen Curry, however, is a great basketball player. Why, you ask? I said this in an earlier Bronze Sexual confession. Stephen Curry has changed the game forever. Oh, you didn't hear me? Let me say it again. Stephen Curry has changed the game forever. And it only took one thing. And Cole knows this statement very well. Everyone in the chat knows this statement very well. The Bronze Sexuals know this statement very well. And every time they hear it, they curl up into a little ball and hide because the truth hurts. And that statement is this. Stephen Curry took an anomaly and turned it into a weapon. So what did the Golden State Warriors do? As my partner piggybacked on it, they took that weapon and evolved it into a strategy that no other team in the NBA has successfully copied. Still. Many have tried. Oh, Lord, have they tried.
All have failed.
All have failed. And all because a 6'3", 180-pound point guard took an anomaly and turned it into a weapon. One of the greatest weapons in the NBA. One of the most the third most indefensible shot is Steph Curry's three. What are the other two most indefensible shots? At number 2, Michael Jordan's fadeaway, and number 1, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's sky hook. Now, riddle me this, Bronze Sexuals. Does LeBron has a post move that he commits to memory without traveling? Riddle me this. Does he have proper form on his jump shot that he commits to memory? Because it seems like every time he takes a jump shot, he's doing it in a different fashion. Not to say that he doesn't put in the work. Oh, no. Not to say he doesn't put in the work, because I can guarantee you he does put in the work. We've all seen the mixtape. Oops. Did I just say mixtape? Because
Yes,
we really haven't seen a practice session. No, I will stop there. So, Bronze Sexuals, until he commits a post move to memory, until he changes the game and changes the league by doing something that is, league-wide changing, you can't just be a bull in a china shop. Karl Malone did that, then he developed the jump shot. Oops. Jack Sigma was a bull in a china shop, and he developed that vicious fadeaway jumper on the baseline. Oops. Moses Malone just beat you up in the post and I rebounded everybody. Oops.
And when we say change the game, we're talking about on the court, not off of it.
Mm-hmm. LeBron's done a lot off the court. Give you that. He just hasn't done anything on it. And this is not hatred. This is criticism. I've been called a LeBron James hater for many, many years. I'm not a hater. I just know what basketball is. And when it comes to Bron, this ain't it. And Snowman's done.
In a world where logic and sense flies completely out the window, while purple and yellow glasses are donned, rises a figure who encourages ridiculous, undying loyalty.
He'd get teams' best salaries?
Good Lord, I'm about to throw up. This has been yet another installment of The Bronsexual Confessions.
More potluck to come on the other side. You are listening and watching Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson with Brian Snow. This is Cole Johnson. We'll be back right after this.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
Baby, you see, you're so right for me, and I'm right for you. I love the things you do, like sweet tasting wine. Your lips are so divine. Your loving turns me on. My lonely days are gone. That's why I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go. Babe, I'm never gonna let you go. No, no, never gonna let you go. Baby, never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go. Babe, I'm never gonna.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Never gonna let you go.
Hey guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
If you can celebrate Christian McCaffrey having a 1,000,000 season, if you can celebrate Marshall Faulk, who had a 1,000,000 season, by electing him into the Hall of Fame, then why can't we celebrate the guy who originated the 1,000,000 season with a Hall of Fame election? I'm talking about the one and only Roger Craig.
If you want some, come get some.
Welcome back to Snowman in the Morning.
Well, thank you, Mr. Hustle, Loyalty, and Respect. Welcome back to Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson, with Brian Snow. I am Cole Johnson. You are inside the fourth and final hour of this wonderful broadcast on a wonderful Friday. And
yes, it is.
I'm just washed.
The Warriors are the champs, y'all. Deal with it.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm awash and aglow in the fact that the better team won in the finals or / World Championship Series, and that's not a slight to the Celtics because they are a are a great team. Yes,
they are here.
Yeah,
in my
opinion, in my opinion, they're here to stay, and they actually are early. So I really believe that their time is coming, and it might be as soon as next year. But I know this.
Yeah.
I know this for a fact. That's a team that everybody, including the Warriors, are going to have to deal with in the near and not even near future.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to
deal with them now.
Yeah, they have to deal with them right now. So I'm going to give them their flowers right now. They're awesome. I love what the Celtics are about. I love what the Celtics are about.
Ime Udoka has built a champion.
What a wonderful job he's done in his very first year as a head coach. I mean, until game 4 of the finals, he knew which buttons to push with his team, and it got him to within 2 games of hoisting that trophy. So I know, that he's going to have that pit in his stomach, and it's going and that Paul in his heart, where he's going to ask himself, how can I be 2 games better from this year to next year? You know, so
how can I get those 2 games that we missed?
Yeah.
Because they missed opportunities in games 4, 5, and 6.
Definitely, and I definitely look at 4. I circle game 4, and yes, Curry balled his butt off. I'm not saying that. Well, if Curry didn't ball out like he did, the Warriors would stood no chance. No, because you forget that in that same game, Wiggins had 17 and 16. So it wasn't just Stephen Curry. But even with Curry going off the way he did, the Celtics could have won game 4. They could have.
But they played quarter turnovers will do you in every time.
And that's where I wanted to go. The one issue that they had, and this isn't something that I'm just popping off of the mouth now and saying. I've been saying this since the Bucks series. The Celtics' biggest issue is turnovers. And the blueprint was given to us as to how you defend this team and how you get them off kilter in the Heat series, in the conference finals, Eastern Conference Finals. The Heat played passing lanes, and they dared the Celtics to move the ball and get them in the mode of either rushing shots so that they wouldn't turn the ball over, or anticipating passes where you can have someone just cut in the lane and just jet the other way. And that was
Latina Patriot Constitution's in the house.
Oh, what's up?
Latina Patriot, thank you for joining us. But yeah, the Warriors took the blueprint from games 4 through 6 and used it perfectly, because in game 6 especially, 24 Celtic turnovers. And the Celtics over the years have been one of the most disciplined teams in the NBA. I'll repeat that number. 24 turnovers.
Turn the ball over that many times and expect to win. You can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do it.
And even though the Celtics got to within single digits separate times, either a backdoor cut by Wiggins, a Curry 3, or a Jordan Poole 3, or Draymond Green and at 100 miles an hour finding someone underneath, or Klay Thompson flying at 100 miles an hour finding Draymond Green underneath to extend the lead to 13 late in the fourth period. The Warriors came to play in the money period. They came to play in the money period in game 6. They held a 10-point lead. They won by 13, and they finished unfinished business from 2019. Now, when I say unfinished business from 2019, the Toronto Raptors beat them up. Yeah, I'll have love for the 19 Toronto Raptors. The Raptors beat them up.
I will say
the Raptors beat them physically.
Yes. I will say this about the Warriors. If there is an Achilles heel this team has, it is you. If you are disciplined as well, you can lean on them and be physical. What did I say that the biggest key for the Celtics to beat the Warriors in this series to hoist the Larry Pride Trophy was?
Size.
Yes. Utilize that size. That is your one advantage that the Warriors simply cannot counter. Use it.
Mm-hmm.
And when
the last 3 games, the last 3 games, the Warriors found a counter for it.
Yeah. And when you are not able to use that size to your advantage, and it can come back and be a disadvantage,
Mm-hmm. Cole is frozen as I'm looking at my other monitor here. So either he's going to drop or I'm going to drop here in a moment. But the Celtics' advantage was size. Again, the Celtics' advantage was size. Sick Diggy. Oh, no, they got him. It seems that way. Latina Patriot, it was only mute for a second. I'm looking at a second monitor here, and he's still frozen. So he's going to come back and rejoin us. Sick Diggy again. Stop greasing your hands. Ime Udoka to the Boston Celtics. He was trying to, get them to be disciplined, but they kept turning the ball over. Sick Diggy again. Snowman, don't you mean 6? No, only 5 30-point closeout games. Of course, we're talking about the legendary Michael Jordan. In the 6th one, he only had 22 points, and that was 1996 against the Seattle Supersonics. He was only, my numbers are correct, 5 for 19 in that game in the United Center. But because it was Michael Jordan who carried the Bulls throughout that series, he got the MVP of that series. But in looking at the Celtics and the Warriors and looking at that series, 2 different styles. The Warriors want to run, and here's what happened. They're in a thunderstorm, so the power went out. So I will take you the rest of the way. So Cole, please be safe in the midst of that thunderstorm. I'll say it again. The Celtics had the size, the Warriors had the speed. Latina Patriot, how'd you find your co-host? He's good. he and I have been friends for years, 6 years now. And I had him on as a very frequent guest, very frequent guest. And every time I had him on, either via a taped conversation or a live conversation, we were on the phone at least 45 minutes. So I figured he would be my only choice to be my partner on the show. Now, that's not to say that some people didn't come to me wanting to be my partner. I didn't expect to have a 4-hour spectacular every day. But what really endeared me to him was his support of the show. Andrew says, stay safe, Cole. Yeah, Cole isn't it? We lost Cole because Cole's out of power. And they're in the midst of a thunderstorm, and it's trying to thunder here. It's trying to be a thunderstorm here, but the sun's supposed to come out a little later, and I hope it does. But that's how I found him. We found each other over the internet, and the next thing I knew, we were having frequent phone conversations. A lot of them occurred on the air. And he was the best choice. He was the, honestly, only choice. Latina Patriot, you never met in person? Not yet. Not yet, but we're going to. If I got anything to say about it, I'm going to build a studio and I'm going to fly him in and a couple of other people if I don't get locals first. But Cole is my partner on this show. And I'll owe y'all an update. I'm building another show that Francis Battaglia is going to syndicate all over the country. And I got a weekend project to do. And I will do that over the weekend. It's called Snowman on Sports. And when I get that built over the course of the weekend or the next week, depending on how my body reacts, I want y'all to support that too. Let me clean up a couple things here. If you want to, if you want to subscribe to the YouTube channel, you can do so at youtube.com/snowmaninthemorning50. That's youtube.com/snowmaninthemorning50. And this is the one I want to put up for the remainder of the show. If you all can do so, please donate to the 100 Days Project as well as the show. Going to paypal.me/snowman2172. That's paypal.me/snowman2172. Sick Diggy, you gotta love how Cole goes off the rails with his musical references and singing. That's one of the best parts of the show. That's one of the best parts of the show. And when we get into our improvisation phase, I can honestly say that's where the fun starts. Because you never know what kind of musical reference Cole's going to come up with. You never know. You know, and the best part about it, it gets better every time out. It gets better every time out. I'm going to leave this banner up. We'll take one final break. And when we come back, I'll take you into the weekend. This, my friends, is Snowman in the Morning on BS3 TV, as well as YouTube and the SDM Sports Network, as well as where is it? There it is. As well as Real Wise Radio, SDM Sports Radio, 4-Star Sports Media, and 24 hours a day at officialsitmorn.com. Back in a moment.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
Baby, you see, you're so right for me, and I'm right for you. I love the things you do, like sweet tasting wine. Your lips are so divine. Your loving turns me on. My lonely days are gone. That's why I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go. Babe, I'm never gonna let you go. No, no, never gonna let you go. Baby, never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go. Babe, I'm never gonna.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Never gonna let you go.
Hey guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just,
Only you can prevent wildfires.
like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
If you can celebrate Christian McCaffrey having a 1,000,000 season, if you can celebrate Marshall Faulk, who had a 1,000,000 season, by electing him into the Hall of Fame, then why can't we celebrate the guy who originated the 1,000,000 season with a Hall of Fame election? I'm talking about the one and only Roger Craig.
If you want some, come get some.
Welcome back to Snowman in the Morning.
Well, down the stretch we come. You know what? We're just going to go ahead and put a cap on this bad boy because I love you guys and I'm getting a little worn down and I have to go to the doctor here in just a moment to get my feet rewrapped because I have blisters on them. But I want to thank everybody that has been there with Cole and myself and my staff and my crew. Production crew that has been there with Wise El Jefe, that man, thank you. All I can say is thank you all for being there and congratulations to the Golden State Warriors for winning the World Championship last night. Monday, Chris Dietz will join me and Jay Spivey will join me as well. We'll fill in the blanks, and again, if you find it in your heart, donate to the PayPal, paypal.me/snowman2172. That's paypal.me/snowman2172. And you can also become a patron. And I hope a lot of you do over the course of the next week, because my goal is to get 1,000 patrons before the end of this month and at least 2,000 subscribers to the YouTube channel. Patreon.com/SIT morning. That's patreon.com/SIT morning. That's going to do it for me. We lost Cole due to a power outage, so we're going to go ahead and get the heck on up out of here. So thank you all for being with me. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move, and always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, then they are not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. We are, and we hope you all are too. See you Monday.
Thank you for tuning in to Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson, the hottest of hot takes and the coldest of cold, hard facts.